Back here in Lorain County, Ohio, from the Pipeyard, game number 2 between the Xenia Scouts and the Lorain County Ironmen, as Ben Beachy will lead it off here for the Scouts. Beachy takes a strike at the knees. As a quick turnaround from game number 1 here in Lorain County, a 2-1 victory for the Scouts over the Ironmen, as Ange Bourgeois came in to score in the top of the 10th, as Beachy takes another strike inside. 0-2. Bourgeois came in to score in the top of the 10th on a ground ball from Francisco Andina. And then Landon Williams shut the door on the Ironmen to give the Scouts a 2-1 victory. Now the 0-2 pitch to Beachy, outside, ball 1. And the game that was only supposed to last 7 innings here as we play 2 in Lorain County. The Scouts and the Ironmen were deadlocked at 1 from inning 3 on. No runs in the 4th through the 9th. And now the 1-2 pitch to Beachy, down low. Beachy did not go around as he checked his swing. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
That game lasting a little bit longer than we expected there. And it'll be interesting to see how fatigue plays into this game after playing 10 in the first game that was originally slated for 7.
The game ended up finishing around normal time, a little under 3 hours, as the 2-2 pitch comes in low, 3-2 to Beachy. But as you mentioned, only expected to play 7. We were expecting that game to go about an hour and 45 to 2 hours, and it was on pace for that. I believe the 7th inning finished at about an hour and a half, but we just kept playing. And now Beachy takes a ball inside, so after falling behind 0-2, Ben Beachy is on with a walk to lead off the second game. And the pitcher on the mound in game number 2 here for the Lorain County Ironmen will be Tyler Galt. Galt thus far this season for the Ironmen has pitched in 1 game, a 6 1/3 innings pitched, gave up 12 hits, 7 runs, all of them earned, as Ryan Park steps to the plate for the Scouts and takes ball 1. Galt has walked 3 and struck out 1, an ERA of 9.94 through 1 start. Now the 0-1 grounded hard, but foul down the first baseline. 1 ball and 1 strike to Ryan Park. Park came in a pinch hit for Aaron Takis in the last game. Bubba Cates putting him in against a lefty because Park is a righty and Takis is a lefty. And now Park skies one high toward right field. And the catch is made. There's 1 down here in the top of the first. Beachy retreats to first, and that'll bring up Jordan Lambert for the Scouts. In right field tonight for the Lorain County Ironmen is Jack Longo. He did not play in game number 1. Chase Canoodle stays in center as Lambert fouls one off down the left field line. And Sam Casanelli, who was the DH last game, comes in to play left. Jordan Lambert at the plate, the lefty stands in. He was 1 for 4 with a double in game number 1. Now the 0-1. Lambert lines one down the first baseline, just foul, and it'll make the count no balls and 2 strikes. The umpires for game number 2, they just switch it up. Brian Miller will be behind the plate. Rudy Denias in the field as Lambert fouls off a fastball behind the Ironman dugout, and the count stays at no balls and 2 strikes.
And Rudy Denias calling a pretty wide strike zone in the first of the 2 contests. So the Xenia Scouts should be wary of that coming into this second game.
Now the 0-2 to Lambert. Lambert fouls it off. It was a little low below the knees, but he stays alive, and the count stays at 0-2. And now the third baseman, Caleb Waller, who was at third in game number 1 as well, comes in and has a word with his pitcher, Tyler Galt. Lambert, a little bit of an open stance as the lefty. The 0-2 pitch from Tyler Galt is a curveball hammered down the right field line, but foul. And oh, that ball might have cleared the fence if it was fair. Instead, just a long strike. Jordan Lambert has fouled off 4 straight pitches, and we stay at 0-2.
Yeah, Lambert absolutely got a hold of that one, but foul. And if you're the pitcher, Gall, just a sigh of relief, as he still has room to work here as the count stands at 0-2.
Galt taking his time on the mound. Now the 0-2 way high and upstairs. It goes all the way to the backstop. Ben Beachy jogs his way over to second base. A wild pitch by Tyler Galt. And Ben Beachy now stands at second with 1 down. So the count 1 ball and 2 strikes on Jordan Lambert, the senior from Tennessee Martin. Beachy, after starting this day 0-for-3, he actually started 1-for-4, reached on a walk in the 10th inning in his last at-bat, now reaches on a walk here in the first, and now Lambert skies a curveball into foul territory toward the third baseman Waller. He makes the grab. Jordan Lambert frustrated with himself as he walks to the bench, but there's 2 down here in the first for the Scouts.
Yeah, Lambert 1-for-4 in that first game, did rope a double. So might feel like he's a little bit of a slump after being so hot for the couple of games that we had in Hamilton in the second game against the Cincinnati Steam. But he sits down and now 2 away. Another big spot for Kyle Casserly.
Casserly, the lefty, takes a strike on the outside corner. Casserly started the day 0-for-3 with 3 strikeouts, but in his last at-bat in game number 1 in the 9th inning, he ripped a double to left center. Beachy got on with the leadoff walk and stands on second. 0-0 the score between the Scouts and the Ironmen here in game number 2 of the doubleheader at the Pipeyard, home of the Lorain County Ironmen. Galt takes the signal. Now the 0-1. A fastball low. It gets away from the catcher. Beachy takes third. And still tied at 0, but the first run of the day is 90 feet away for Kyle Casserly and the Scouts.
Yeah, the Scouts still haven't picked up a hit yet, and no one able to advance Jordan Lambert, or not Jordan Lambert, I should say Ben Beachy, but he's done it himself. A couple passed balls, and he's gone first to third following the leadoff walk.
And now Casserly swings through an off-speed pitch on the outside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Cass. Casserly, the redshirt junior from Wright State, played his first 2 years of college ball at West Virginia and transferred and did not play with the Raiders this past year. The 1-2, low and in the dirt. A good block by the catcher, Nathan Erzen, And the count's even at 2-2.
And we've seen early with Tyler Gall, balls have just been getting away from him. A couple of pass balls, and that was a chance to be the third pass ball right there. That would have brought Beachy home.
And now Cass fouls off the 2-2 behind the plate and stays alive. The Xenia Scouts came into today badly needing a couple of wins, coming in at 2-6. Lorain County came in at 3-6. Now the 2-2 pitch to Cass. A swing and a miss on a fastball up high. Kyle Casserly strikes out for the first time in game number 1, but the 4th time today. And we'll go to the bottom half of the first inning, tied at 0. You're listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Heading to the bottom of the first at the Pipeyard here in Lorain County, Ohio. Game number 2 of the doubleheader between the Scouts and the Ironmen. The Scouts took game 1 2-1 in 10 innings. And now we're set for the bottom of the first, and the Ironmen come up to the plate for the first time. Chase Canoodle takes a ball high. From the starting pitcher, Caleb Bly for the Xenia Scouts. Bly has made 2 appearances thus far for the Scouts. A 2.7 ERA, 6 2/3 innings pitched as the fastball catches the knees to Canoodle. Bly's given up 9 hits, 7 runs, but only 2 of them have been earned. Caleb Bly has pitched very efficiently, 5 walks, 5 strikeouts for Bly. The 1-1 pitch, Canoodle fouls it off behind the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And Bly's first outing, like you said, a frustrating one. A lot of errors in the field, extending innings that would have been a heck of a lot shorter for Bly. And because of that, the pitch count was driven up. He let in a couple of runs unearned. And I don't know if we really got to see his full potential in that contest. So we look to see him bounce back here ahead in this count 1-2 on the leadoff hitter.
The 1-2, a swing and a miss on an off-speed pitch on the inside corner. Caleb Bly gets his first strikeout of the day. And there's 1 down here in the bottom half of the first inning.
And Bly going inside and just tying up a very good hitter in Chase Canoodle. Canoodle, who picked up 3 hits in the last contest. So Bly flexing his stuff early now, 1 away for Matt Carpenter now.
And now Carpenter, who did not play in game number 1, steps in as a lefty. He lays down a bunt, but foul. No balls and 1 strike. Carpenter comes into the game Matt Carpenter, as I look at the wrong line, 5 for 17 on the year, a 294 batting average. Carpenter, 1 extra base hit, it was a double. And now the 0-1 from Caleb Bly. A fastball just off the plate, 1-1. Carpenter, 3 RBIs on the year, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. His on-base percentage at .368. Now the 1-1. A ground ball. Bly missed it on the mound. A backhand by Bourgeois at second. A quick throw over to first, and they got him. A good play by Ange Bourgeois at second base. And there's 2 down here in the first.
And that was a hard ground ball. Not enough time for Bly to have the reaction, but Bourgeois quickly moves over a couple feet to his left backhand, but then importantly, quickly getting that ball over to first to get the speedy Matt Carpenter over at first. 2 up, 2 down for Caleb Bly here in his first inning of work.
And now Antonio Bennett comes to the plate for the Ironmen. Bennett playing short stop in this one. He played second last game as he takes a ball low and away. Antonio Bennett at the plate, 0 for 3 with the walk. He also reached on an error. The 3-hole hitter takes a strike right at the belt. 1 ball and 1 strike to Bennett. Caleb Bly, one thing we've noticed early in this year, he's good at getting ahead on hitters, a lot. 0-2, 1-2. He pounds the strike zone. The 1-1 pitch, a fastball lifted high to center field. Ondina takes a few steps back and makes the grab, and that's going to do it for the Ironmen here in the first inning. A 1-2-3 inning for Caleb Bly, and we'll head to the top of the second. Tied at 0. You're listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network.
Leading up the second inning for Xenia, the designated hitter, number 7, Chris Ackerman.
To the top of the second inning we go here in Lorain County, Ohio, at the Pipeyard, home of the Lorain County Ironmen. A 0-0 score between the Scouts and the Ironmen, as Chris Ackerman, the leadoff batter for the Scouts, here in the top of the second, takes a ball high and in. Game number 2 of the doubleheader this evening. And now the 1-0 pitch to Ackerman, a fastball high, 2-0. The Scouts took game number 1 2-1 in 10 innings. And a little bit of a longer game than we expected. Only 7 innings will be played in this one. And now the 2-0. Ackerman fouls it off behind the plate. 2 balls and 1 strike. And we thought it was just going to be 7 innings in the first game as well. It was a pitcher's duel, a 1-1 tie all the way through the 9th. And finally, the Scouts broke through on actually a double play ground out from Francisco Ondina that scored Ange Bourgeois. And now Ackerman takes a ball high and tight, 3-1.
It wasn't a go-ahead run for the highlight reels, but the win is the win all the same, Gabe.
The 3-1 to Ackerman. Low below the knees, Chris Ackerman walks to begin his second game. He was 0 for 3 with a walk in game 1. And now the Scouts have their leadoff runner aboard for the second time in as many innings. And Joey Roddy will step to the plate for the Scouts.
Chris Ackerman continues to draw walks. He drew one in the first game for his 9th walk, and that's walk number 10.
Roddy takes a ball outside, 1-0. Chris Ackerman came into today tied for 8th in the league with 8 walks. I'm sure a couple more will put him in near that top 5 range. He leads the Xenia Scouts team in on-base percentage at .500 coming into the day. And now the 1-0 pitch to Roddy is outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Joey Roddy, the redshirt freshman from Ohio State. The righty has struggled thus far this year. And now a strike. The catcher airs in, throws down to first base. Ackerman dives back safely. Roddy came into today 3 for 24, went 0 for 4 in game 1. He's now 3 for 28 on the year. He did line a ball to left field in his first at-bat in game 1, and now the 2-1 pitch is inside, 3 balls and 1 strike. And a great diving catch made by the left fielder Richard Phillips in Roddy's first at-bat to begin the day. Robbed Roddy of a base hit. Now the 3-1. Roddy cuts at a fastball low in the zone, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Joey Roddy, the native of Boston, Massachusetts. The 3-2 pitch, low below the knees, and Tyler Galt has now walked his 2nd batter of the inning, his 3rd batter of the game. And the Scouts have their first 2 runners aboard here in the top of the second. And that'll bring up Ange Bourgeois. Bourgeois playing second once again here in game number 2. Went 1 for 4 and scored the go-ahead run in the 10th last game. Bourgeois will step in as a lefty. Ange Bourgeois coming into today was 6 for 25 at the plate, a .240 average, but a .345 on base percentage as he's walked 3 times and also reached on an error once. Bourgeois' only extra base hit of the year. He has 2 extra base hits, a double and a triple. He's one of 27 players in this Great Lakes League to have a triple, and now he takes a ball high and away, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch, just high, 2 balls and no strikes. 0-0 the score between the Scouts and the Ironmen here in the top of the second of game number 2 of this doubleheader. Chris Ackerman stands on second, Joey Roddy on first. Both walked to begin the second inning. Now the 2-0 pitch, a fly ball into shallow left field. The shortstop Bennett goes back and makes the grab over his shoulder. A little bit of a tougher catch than he expected there as the ball came down, but there's one down here in the top of the second for the Scouts. Dylan Lottenville will step to the plate for Xenia. Lottenville 0 for 1 with 3 walks in game number 1. Lottenville coming into today 4 walks on the year, well, bring it up to 7. He almost equaled his total in game number 1.
Well, that'll get the old OBP up.
Now Lawtonville hacks at an off-speed pitch, fouls it off behind the plate. No balls in, 1 strike. Dylan Lawtonville has been a victim of a couple robberies in the past couple games. Had 3 balls go way deep to the left field wall. One of them was legitimately robbed. A leaping catch by the left fielder of the Cincinnati Steam robbed Lawtonville, and then the other 2 were caught right up against the wall. As Lawtonville is 2 for 23 on the year. But as we've talked about, just a couple feet short of a couple bombs. Now the 0-1. Lawtonville lines one down the third base line, but foul. No balls and 2 strikes.
And Lawtonville, we are just waiting for the moment where he can break this slump. Like Gabe said, just so many balls hit very hard, if not just a little too high. So if Lawtonville start hitting that ball a little bit more on the nose.
The 0-2 pitch, a curveball high, ball 1.
Big curveball there.
Dylan Lawtonville, a native of Belvway, Washington. Home of Tim Lincecum as well. Now the 1-2 pitch. Just low on a curveball, 2 balls and 2 strikes. As I realize I read that wrong, it's Bellevue, Washington. But home of Tim Lincecum and also the Chicago Bulls broadcaster Chuck Swirsky. The 2-2 pitch to Dylan Lawtonville. Fouled off behind the plate. We'll do 2-2 all over again.
Lawtonville staying alive. I think he wanted that pitch. The body language after fouling that ball straight on into the screen, just missing that one did Lawtonville. And you could tell as he took a couple steps outside of the batter's box there that he was not happy with himself.
0-0, the score between the Ironmen and the Scouts here in the top of the second. Ackerman on second, Roddy on first for the Scouts. The 2-2 pitch, high and in, 3-2 to Dylan Lawtonville. 2-1, a Scouts victory in game number 1 of the doubleheader. And now the Scouts, who came into today 2-6, 3.5 games out of first place in the Southern Division, hoping to gain ground on the Richmond Jazz. The 3-2 pitch, Lawtonville skies one high toward left field, and once again he got just under it. The left fielder Sam Casanelli makes the grab about 10 feet short of the warning track, and there's 2 down here in the top of the second inning.
And once again, a tough one for Lawtonville, like Gabe said, just getting a little too much under that one. And unfortunately, when you make the transition from the metal bat to the wood bat from the spring to the summer, that's what happens. Power that you might have felt like you had in April and May. Come June, you just got to put a little bit more on it. And unfortunately, sometimes that requires making adjustments. So a rough transition for Lawtonville, but still a lot of potential there.
And Francisco Andina, the 9-hole hitter for the Scouts, comes up and tries to lay a bunt down. He lays it foul. No balls and 1 strike to the center fielder this evening for the Scouts. 2 on, 2 out for Xenia. No score here in the top of the second at the Pipeyard in Lorain County, Ohio. I talked about the Scouts being 3-6 now after the victory, trying to gain ground on the Jazz. The Jazz and the Copperheads tied for first place play tonight in the Southern Division. We'll try to get you a score update on that. They started at 7:05. And now Andina takes a curveball high. 1 ball and 1 strike to Francisco Andina, who was 1 for 3 with a walk in game number 1. He doubled and came around to score in the third inning. And then that 6-4-3 double play that actually scored Ange Bourgeois in the 10th. The 1-1 pitch, high and away, 2 balls and 1 strike to Francisco Andina.
And the scores you were asking for, it's the bottom of the 5th in Cincinnati. The Joes lead the Steam at 5-3. And with Richmond and Southern Ohio, it's the bottom of the 7th. Richmond leads by a score of 4-2.
So the Jazz, who are 5-2, the Copperheads 5-3 in that matchup as Ondina fouls one off behind the plate, 2 balls and 2 strikes. So whoever loses there, the Scouts will gain a little bit of ground on the loser. And then Xenia off tomorrow with the doubleheader today. The Jazz and the Copperheads go back at it tomorrow. So that is a series to keep an eye on if you're a Scouts fan. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Francisco Ondina. The pitch. Low and inside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. A good block by the catcher, Nathan Erzin, to keep it in front of him. The runners will be going. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs here in the top of the second. No score between the Scouts and the Ironmen. Chris Ackerman on second. Joey Roddy on first for Xenia. Both reached on walks. Francisco Ondina tied for 6th in the league in walks coming into this one. And now he swings through a fastball on the outside corner for strike 3. So despite getting 2 runners on, the Scouts cannot bring a run across and will go to the bottom of the second. Still no score. You're listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Back here for the bottom of the second at the Pipeyard in Lorain County, a nothing tie between the Scouts and the Ironmen thus far, as Brady fought the cleanup hitter for the Ironmen, skies one towards shallow right field. The second baseman, Bourgeois, goes back and grabs it. 1 down here in the second.
Yeah, attacking first pitch there is Brady Font. We learned Font just ended up coming to the team today when we talked to their media guy. He said he didn't even know his name before the first game of this doubleheader. But Font starts his Lorain County Ironman career out with a high fly out into right field. And now with 1 away, Caleb Blythe retired 4 in a row.
And now a quick strike to Sam Casanelli, a fastball on the outside corner. No balls and 1 strike. Casanelli 0 for 2, a hit by a pitch and laid down a sac bunt in game number 1. The sac bunt did not score a run, but moved a runner over, and now he fouls one toward his own dugout. No balls and 2 strikes. Casanelli, 5'11", 175 pounds, stands in the righty's batter's box. Casanelli plays his college ball at Rogers State University. Now the 0-2 ground ball, fair territory down the third base line into the left field corner. Lambert will pick it up. Casanelli's in with a stand-up double. And the Lorain County Ironmen have their first hit of the game, a stand-up double from Sam Casanelli with 1 down here in the bottom of the second.
And Casanelli picking up the Ironman's first hit here against Caleb Bly, a double. And just like that, Bly's going to have to work himself out of a little bit of a sticky situation here. With Caleb Waller coming to the plate, Waller, we saw him have a lot of success in the first game. We'll see what Bly can do against him.
Waller 2 for 4 in game number 1. The lefty stands in. Casanelli on second. The pitch from Bly. A fastball blew it by him. 0-1. Caleb Waller plays his college ball at Lake Erie College. He hit .245 for the Storm this past year. 7 doubles, 4 home runs. So 11 extra base hits in his 34 hits. Now the 0-1. A fastball high and away, 1 ball and 1 strike. Lake Erie struggled this past year, 11 and 38 on the year. Bly takes the signal from his catcher, Park. Now the 1-1 delivery. Actually, he'll go back to second with it. Excuse me. Sam Casanelli dives back safely. 1-1 the count on Caleb Waller. The 1-1 pitch from Bly. A fastball fouled off behind the plate, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
We see it again. Bly ahead in the count.
On May 9th, Waller's Lake Erie Storm actually played Hillsdale College.
Yeah.
Hillsdale home to Donald Ring, Dylan Lottenville, and Chris Ackerman on the Xenia Scouts team. Now the 1-2 pitch. A swing and a miss on an off-speed pitch in the dirt. Strikeout number 2 of the day by Caleb Bly. And there's 2 down here in the second.
Love the pitch selection there by pitching coach Corey Coobs, going low and away there and just getting Caleb Waller to go fishing. A big strikeout, keeping the runner over at second. Now with Nate Erzer to the plate. A big spot here for Caleb Bly, trying to keep zeros on the board.
1 on, 2 down for the Ironmen here in the bottom of the second. The pitch, a swing and a miss from Nathan Erzen. The catcher behind the plate tonight for the Ironmen. No balls and 1 strike. Erzen, and now Bly goes to second real quickly on a pickoff move. The ball trickles into center field as he threw it high, and Sam Casanelli moves to third on the all of a sudden wild throw there from Caleb Bly.
Yeah, and if you're Caleb Bly, you got to think about, the moments that happened in the game against the Richmond Jazz last time. The throw over to Kyle Casserly that flew over his head and out of play that allowed him to advance, that allowed the runner to advance over to second. You got to minimize moments like that in order to maximize your opportunity to stay in this game as long as possible.
The 0-1 to Erzen, way outside. A good stop by Ackerman. 1 ball and 1 strike. Nathan Erzen, a teammate of the guy who just struck out, Caleb Waller at Lake Erie College. Erzen hit a little better than Waller, a .272 average. Now the 1-1. Just misses low. I believe that might have been on the outside edge, but it misses below the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike to Nathan Erzen. And before I talk about Erzen being better than Waller, they both had 34 hits this past season, did Waller and Erzen with the Lake Erie Storm. The 2-1. A swing and a miss on a fastball right at the belt.
My question for you, Gabriel, is if they both had 34 hits, who had the better batting average?
Nathan Erzen. The 2-2 pitch. A fastball low. A good block from Ryan Park behind the plate. 3 balls and 2 strikes. No score between the Ironmen and the Scouts here in the bottom half of the second inning. 2 outs. Sam Casanelli stands on third for the Ironmen. The 3-2 pitch from Bly. Fouled off behind the plate. And we'll do it all over again. Erzen, a native of Brook Park, Ohio. Playing his summer ball here in Lorain County. Bly, a deep breath. The payoff pitch. High at the eyes. And Caleb Bly issues his first walk of the game. The runners are on the corners for the Ironmen.
And Caleb Bly had a chance there, but now he's going to have to pitch to Jarrett Peterson. And if you recognize the name, that's for good reason. Peterson pitched was it 2 or 3 scoreless innings in the last contest?
I'll have to check up on that, but he did pitch in the last game. Jarrett Peterson, 3 scoreless innings.
No hits allowed.
No hits. And now he bats as a lefty. He takes a fastball just high at the chin, 1 ball and 1 strike. So we mentioned the scoreless innings pitched from Jarrett Peterson. At the plate, he's 3 for 21 this year, a 143 batting average. Now the 1-0 from Bly. That time the fastball catches the outside corner of the plate, 1 ball and 1 strike. Jarrett Peterson, 3 RBIs, 4 walks, and 5 strikeouts on the year. So his on-base percentage is up at .308. Caleb Bly taking his time. And now Jarrett Peterson will step out of the box, Runners on the corners for the Ironmen. No score here in the bottom of the second. Sam Castanelli on third. Nathan Erzin on first. The 1-1. That ball flied high in the air toward left center field. Lambert calls off on Dina and makes the grab. A hit, but no runs and 2 left on base for the Ironmen here in the bottom half of the second inning. We'll go to the third. No score between the Scouts and the Ironmen. You're listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network.
The Ironmen nothing, and the Scouts. Ohio, a sophomore at Outervine College, Ben Beachy.
To the top of the third we go here at the Pipeyard in Lorain County, Ohio, home of the Lorain County Ironmen. No score between the Scouts and the Ironmen as Ben Beachy leads off the top of the third for the Scouts and takes a ball high and tight. Game number 2 of a doubleheader here at the Pipeyard. 2-1, a Scouts victory in game number 1. As the 1-0 to Beachy. Beachy lays down a bunt down the third base line. The third baseman, Waller, picks it up, fires across the diamond. Beachy beat it out. An infield single for Ben Beachy to lead off the third, and he's on for the second time today.
And as our man Dave always says, nobody no-hits the Scouts.
And Ryan Park will step to the plate for the Xenia Scouts. Park flew out to the right fielder Longo in inning number 1. He was 0 for 3 in game number 1 as well, so he's 0 for 4 on the day. Now the first pitch to Park is high and away from pitcher Tyler Galt. Galt from Notre Dame College here in Ohio will be a sophomore with the Falcons. A 4.29 ERA, 6-3 record at Notre Dame as Park swings at a high fastball away. And Ben Beachy is safe at second base on a steal. So it was a hit and run to Ryan Park. He just had to try to wave the bat out there high and away. The throw to the bag beat Beachy, a good throw by Nathan Erzin. Beachy hopped around the tag from Antonio Bennett and dove in from behind the bag safely. One of the more athletic moves I've seen from Ben Beachy this year.
Yeah, a little NFL-style juke out there on the base pass from Ben Beachy, but the Scouts now with a runner in scoring position, nobody out. Got to capitalize here.
The pitch. Park grounds one toward the first baseman, Peterson. He flips to the pitcher, Galt, and they get Park at first, but Beachy moves to third with one down.
And almost ended up being a very close play at first with the underhand toss. Ryan Park running so fast over to first base that even though after being called down, he ended up losing his footing. But now a productive out, as they say, is Beachy advancing another 90 feet in a big spot here for Jordan Lambert.
Lambert steps up to the plate. 0 for 1 in this game, 1 for 5 on the day as he went 1 for 4 with a double in game number 1. He flew out in foul territory to the third baseman Waller his last time up. Beachy 90 feet away at third. No score, top of the third between the Scouts and the Ironmen here in game number 2 of this doubleheader. The first pitch to Lambert, high and away. A good job by Ayerson to hop out of his crouch and prevent that one from going to the backstop. 1 ball and no strikes. Jordan Lambert came into today on a 3-game hit streak. He was 7 of his last 14 at the plate. And now he skies one into foul territory once again. Waller chasing but won't get there as this ball lands about 20 feet out of play. And the count's at 1-1.
And already some action in the bullpen for Lorain County, if you can see out there. It's as their starter here has thrown a ton of pitches.
The 1-1 to Lambert. Ground ball toward the second baseman Carpenter. He will throw to first, an RBI ground out for Jordan Lambert, and the Scouts are on the board here in the top of the third inning. 1-0 Xenia over the Ironmen.
And a lot of credit to Ben Beachy, picking up the bunt single and then stealing the base, and 2 productive outs by both Ryan Park and Jordan Lambert. Bubba Cates says, you're a chump if the only way you can drive in a runner is with a base hit. So Jordan Lambert and Ryan Park both doing their job, getting the runner over, and the Scouts on the board with a 1-0 lead.
Now Kyle Casserly at the plate. He takes a curveball at the knees for strike 1. And one of the problems for the Xenia Scouts team early in this year has been falling behind early. We've seen a 9-run first inning, a 6-run third inning, a 4-run third inning. And today, as Casserly takes the ball outside, the Scouts fell behind 1-0 game number 1, but immediately responded. It was 1-0 Ironman after 2. The Scouts scored a run in the top of the third and haven't fallen behind since. They've gotten out to an early lead in this one, and that is huge for this Xenia team. The 1-1 to Casserly, a fastball just outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Kyle Casserly struck out in the first inning, was 1 for 4 with a double in game number 1. But the 3 outs were strikeouts. So every time Casserly has been out today, it's been on a strikeout. The 2-1 pitch, a swing and a miss at an off-speed pitch at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Kyle Casserly.
Let's see if they go off-speed to Casserly here. They haven't been giving him fastballs all day long.
The 2-2 pitch from goal. A swing and a miss on an off-speed pitch low in the dirt. Casserly strikes out for the 5th time today, the 2nd time in this game. But the Scouts get damage done. A single from Ben Beachy on the bunt. Jordan Lambert brings him in with an RBI ground out, and it's 1-0 Scouts as we head to the bottom of the third. You're listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Back here for the bottom of the third at the Pipeyard, home of the Lorain County Ironmen in Lorain County, Ohio. A 1-0 lead for the Xenia Scouts as we head to the bottom half of the third. Jack Longo, the 9-hole hitter for Lorain County, will lead it off here in the bottom of the third inning. He takes a ball high and tight. Longo did not play in the first game for the Ironmen, but he is one of the top hitters on this Ironman team. Second on the team in hits and an average, 8 for 21, a 381 batting average. And third on the team in on-base percentage at 480. Longo, a ground ball toward the shortstop Beachy, and now Roddy cuts it off at third, fires across the diamond, and they got him. So I thought that was going to go to Beachy in the deep hole. Roddy made a nice play, cut in front of it, and it was a good decision because if that ball goes to Beachy toward the deep 6 hole, Beachy's not getting the speedy Longo.
And let me tell you, Joey Roddy just looking like an athlete out there, coming in and making that great play from the third base hot corner, coming in. You see he's actually having a word with Beachy out there. They're probably just talking that one through. Beachy might be saying, maybe from now on, let me get that one, after we saw Roddy make a couple of errors in similar situations in the first of these 2 games, but it's all good in the hood. Out number 1.
However, Roddy, despite making those 2 errors on the slow ground balls, saved the game for the Xenia Scouts.
Seriously, Joey Roddy deserves a double pat on the back that one, because if it wasn't for a play that, I mean, you couldn't expect even an above average shortstop to make the play that Joey Roddy did to end the 6th inning for the Scouts, keeping that game deadlocked at 1.
Now the first pitch to the leadoff batter, Canoodle, is low and away, ball 1. A diving backhanded play made by Joey Roddy in the bottom of the 6th inning in game number 1. If he doesn't make the play, the run scores for the Ironmen, and because of the doubleheader, we were only playing 7. Now the 1-0 to Canoodle, just below the knees, 2-0. The Scouts didn't get a run in the 7th inning, so it would have been a 2-1 victory for the Ironmen. Instead, Roddy keeps the game alive, and the Scouts win 2-1 in 10 innings.
Do I dare compare Joey Roddy's defensive skills to that of Manny Machado?
You don't dare. You don't do that.
Dare. I don't dare. Well, the particular play was Machado-esque.
I will give you that.
With that. Joey Roddy is no Manny Machado on the other 99% of the time. We'll go with that.
Canoodle on a 3-0 count takes a strike at the knees. 3 balls and 1 strike to Chase Canoodle. 0 for 1 on the second game, a strikeout in the first inning. Caleb Bly got him swinging to begin the game. Now the 3-1, a fastball at the knees for strike 2, and Chase Canoodle had already thrown his bat. The on-deck man, Matthew Carpenter, is going to give it back to him. Canoodle can't believe it.
Off topic, for those of you interested in basketball, Charlotte Hornets just acquired Dwight Howard.
Lots of trades going on out there.
Big day for the NBA.
In the NBA world.
It's hard to think of any other sports equivalent of where just a ton of stuff goes down in like a 24 to 48 hour period.
The 3-2 pitch. Line drive, a blooper into right field. Lottenville can't get there. That ball is fair. Chase Canoodle with speed heading to second. The throw is late from Lottenville. And Canoodle, after thinking he walked, it's a good thing he didn't for the Ironman as he bloops a double into right field.
Yeah, and that was a decent hit there from the most talented hitter in this lineup thus far. But now a runner in scoring position. And 1 out here again. Matt Carpenter and Caleb Bly is going to have to work to keep this game a 1-0 Xenia lead.
Carpenter did not play in game number 1 today. He's 5 for 17, a 294 batting average coming in to this one. He grounded out to the second baseman Bourgeois his first time up. Now a bunt down the third base line, but foul. No balls and 1 strike to Matthew Carpenter. And in Matthew Carpenter's school bio with the Buckeyes, it says his dad, Matt Carpenter, played professional baseball. And, of course, I try to look up Matt Carpenter, and it's just the Matt Carpenter for the St. Louis Cardinals. And I triple-checked, and that is not his dad.
Yeah, that would be that would be a quite the minimal age difference.
The 0-1 to Matt Carpenter, high and away, 1-1. So I couldn't find out who his dad played for or how long he was in the league or when he was in the league, because no matter how many pages I went through on Google, it was just Matt Carpenter for the St. Louis Cardinals.
I'm on it.
As Andrew's going to try to figure it out.
Baseball Almanac, man. Are they going to call it a balk? Or is that just a time?
And time is called.
See, I feel like I'm jaded by all the balks that we've seen so far this season.
There's been a lot of them. Carpenter, the lefty, Bly, the righty on the mound. The 1-1 pitch, a fastball fouled off down the third baseline. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-0. The Xenia Scouts lead over the Lorain County Ironmen here in the top of the third. Game 2 of the doubleheader here at the Pipeyard. 2-1, the final score in 10 innings in game number 1. And now Canoodle on second with 1 out here in the top of the third for the Ironmen. A blooper toward third. Roddy makes the grab at third base as Carpenter hit that ball on the inside of the bat. Almost hit his hands. And there's 2 down here in the third.
And Joey Ronnie once again flexing it over at third.
Antonio Bennett.
And now Antonio Bennett will step to the plate for the Ironmen.
And just because I know there's no picture here, so some might be confused. It's actually not Tony Bennett like the singer. I know that many of you may have been very confused out there.
And now the first pitch to Bennett, a curveball low and away, a good stop by Ryan Park, who slides all the way over past the left-handed batter's box to make that stop. 1 ball and no strikes to Antonio Bennett. Bennett flew out to the center fielder Ondina in the first inning. Canoodle dances off second. Now the 1-0 pitch, a swing and a miss on a fastball at the chin. 1 ball and 1 strike. And Caleb Bly really has that fastball going this evening, blowing it by these Ironman hitters as Bennett just kind of tilts his head back like, that's the pitch I wanted.
And not just that, but he's been able to pinpoint it for the most part, whereas we saw in a lot of situations against Richmond, he struggled for control.
The 1-1 pitch, an off-speed pitch low in the dirt. Bennett chased at it. A good changeup from Caleb Bly. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I really like what we're seeing with this pitch selection, with this pitch execution from the young gun right here.
Canoodle on second. The 1-2 pitch. At the knee, strike 3. Bennett goes down looking. Caleb Bly gets his 3rd strikeout of the day. And we're going to head to the 4th inning with the Scouts up 1-0. You're listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network.
From Holland, Michigan, a junior at Hillsdale College, designated hitter Chris Ackerman.
So we are in the 4th inning of baseball here. The Scouts lead by a score of 1-0. And they will come to the plate for the 4th time this game. They'll send Chris Ackerman, Joey Roddy, and Ange Bourgeois to the plate. So Ackerman steps in for the first pitch of this inning. And first pitch changeup on the inside part of the plate. Swung on and missed there. 0-1 goes the count. Ackerman, his first time up, that was back in the 2nd inning. He walked, ended up getting stranded over at second after no one in the Xenia lineup could bring him home. 0-1 curveball, well placed there. right down the pipe in there for a called strike. And now Ackerman's behind in this count, 0-2. 1-0 Scouts is your score. Ackerman awaits the 0-2 pitch. And swung on and missed strike 3. A curveball there gets Chris Ackerman swinging. So he sits down for the first time today, and Ackerman, his second strikeout in the 2 games. So now it's going to bring Joey Roddy to the plate. Joey Roddy steps in. Hacks at first pitch is going to foul that one out of play on the first base side. 0-1 goes the count here with one away. Roddy walked his first time up. That was back in the stranded. He was second. He was left stranded as well. Roddy in the first game, 0 for 4. 3 flyouts and a strikeout. And he watches 0-1 right on the outside part of the plate, a called strike 2. So Roddy quickly behind in this count, 0-2. He awaits the 0-2 pitch. And breaking ball in there for a called strike 3. Joey Roddy goes down looking. A couple of strikeouts here. And just like that, Tyler Galt, who had surrendered a base runner in all 3 of the first 3 innings, with the possibility here of sitting them down in order for the first time today. So with 2 away, it's Ange Bourgeois to the plate. Bourgeois, his first time up, he flew out to short. First pitch, that one taken on the outside, ball number 1. Bourgeois in the first game, 1 for 4. Ended up scoring what was the game-winning run in that contest. But he watches fastball in there for a called strike. Evens up the count, 1-1 here with 2 away in the top of the 4th. The 1-1 pitch and curveball. That one's hit hard on the ground over to short. Throw over to first is going to be high, but the first baseman quickly bringing down the foot and getting it on the base before Ange Bourgeois can get there. So that is out number 3. A 1-2-3 inning with a couple of strikeouts for Tyler Galt. And so no runs on, no hits, and nobody left aboard for Xenia in the top of the 4th. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back. The Scouts lead 1-0. You are listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. To the bottom of the 4th inning we go. The Scouts lead the Lorain County Ironmen by a score of 1-0, and Caleb Bly out for his 4th inning of work. He has surrendered a couple of hits, but no runs thus far. And first pitch from Bly, that one is taken low and away. Ball number 1. The batter is Brady Fott. Fott, the designated hitter tonight. He's 0 for 1 on the day. 1-0 pitch, and that one comes low and inside. 2-0 is the count here. It'll be Font, Sam Casanelli, and Caleb Waller to the plate here for the Ironmen in the bottom of the 4th. And the 2-0 pitch from Caleb Bly, that one way upstairs. The count moves 3-0. We got some word from local weatherman Gabe Genovesi that it looks like it might be about to downpour outside. 3-0 pitch. That one gets itself across. So 3 balls and a strike now to Brady Funt.
And let's hope this somehow holds off, because looking at the radar, let's hope it's wrong, but storms are supposed to start at 9:30, so in about 10 minutes. And it's not supposed to stop till 1 a.m.
Tremendous. So 3 balls and 2 strikes now.
And to play a full game in this, to get credit for a win in this league, you got to play a full 5, correct?
I believe so. 3-2 pitch. And that one is grounded towards first base. Casserly is going to pick it up, step on first, out number 1. So mark it down as a 3 unassisted, but that is, and you know, we are inside right now, and so you can't really tell. But now that Gabe says it, the winds have really been starting to pick up, that kind of right before summer rain feeling. And the Scouts, I mean, hopefully can hold on here, get through 5 innings, and maybe get credit for this win. Well, they got to get, 5 more outs to do so, though. So let's not get ahead of ourselves.
So we have to finish this bottom half of the 4th and then bat and then get another 3 outs. Like I said, let's just hope this holds off for another half hour or so instead of starting in about 10 minutes.
And let's hope that we can hold the lead during that period of time as well. Otherwise, as Caleb Bly delivers in there for a called strike, evens up the count 1-1 with 1 away here in the bottom of the 4th. The batter is Sam Casanelli. Casanelli, he doubled his last time up. Ended up stranded over at third. And the 1-1 pitch from Bly, that one's in the dirt on the outside, rolls all the way to the backstop. Ryan Park's about to come out and have a word with Caleb Bly, or maybe just underhand tossing the ball. Casanelli goes to Rogers State University. Actually played for Palomar College in 2016. That is where Zach Wallace played in 2017. So figures that the two were at one time teammates. And I saw Wallace having a word with one of the Ironmen as the 2-1 pitch from Bly comes way up and way in. A little bit of chin music there from Caleb. The count moves 3-1, and Casanelli having to dive out of the way there. But Rogers State was 13-19 in the Division II Heartland Conference. 3-1, and that one's up and away, ball 4. And Caleb Bly has surrendered his first base runner here at the bottom of the 4th.
And only the second walk of the day given up by Bly.
Caleb Waller.
As the wind's starting to pick up enough that the open windows here in the press box blowing some papers around and so forth. But Caleb Waller to the plate. Waller, his first time up, he went down swinging. First pitch. Bly delivers fastball upper outside part of the zone with a called strike 1. Caleb Waller, like Gabe mentioned previously, Lake Erie College. When they played Hillsdale back on May the 9th, Waller took an 0-for-3 day. The 0-1 pitch, and that one upstairs, and having to duck there is Caleb Waller to prevent getting banged in the head. And the question I'm asking now is, Caleb Bly just seems to be losing control in all kinds of ways here.
And I have no idea how Waller got out of the way of that one.
1-1. Swung on and missed. A fastball up and away and just blew it right by him. So Bly might be giving up a little bit of control, but he's turning up the heat here. And now he's ahead in this count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bly. He looks to the catcher, Ryan Park. He sets and delivers. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Caleb Bly picks up strikeout number 4 of the day and sits Caleb Waller down. So the battle of the Calebs goes to the man with the surname Bly. And now 2 away and a runner at first. And the batter is going to be Nate Erzin. Nate Erzin, like we talked about previously, another guy from Lake Erie College, Lake Erie. Not such a successful season in that GLIAC conference with Hillsdale. First pitch, and that one hit Erzin on the elbow pad, a hit-by pitch to start things off. So I'm describing it as best as I can to y'all back at home. It's just high heat, high velocity, a little bit of lack of control. So you see it with the walk, you see it with the hit by pitch, but you also see it where he was blowing it by him to Caleb Waller to pick up that 4th strikeout, Gabe.
And Bly, who had only walked 1 coming into this inning, has now given 2 free passes. You've got 2 outs. No reason to panic, but let's get out of this inning with a lead.
First pitch to Jared Peterson. That one is fouled on the third base line, out of play, and the rain is starting to come down here, and it didn't take very long to start coming down at a pretty brisk pace here. 0-1 the count. We're still playing baseball here for the time being. Bly, the pitch. That one, fastball, just missing off the plate. Evens up the count, a ball and a strike. Jared Peterson from Slippery Rock University. The 6'5", and he looks about all of that 6'5" that you see on that roster. 1-1, swung on and missed. Change up on the outside. And Bly 1 strike away from getting himself out of this 4th inning. Runners at first and second with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. The Scouts leading the Lorain County Ironmen by a score of 1-0. The 1-2 pitch upstairs and outside evens up the count 2-2.
And the question's going to be, how much rain can this field take? It looked pretty dry. So the rain, you can see it start to do a little bit of damage on the infield, but not a lot at all. I'm wondering how long we're going to try to play through this.
Let's try to get these 5 in. 2 balls and 2 strikes. With 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Bly looks to the catcher, Ryan Park. He sets and delivers. Just low. The count's going to move full. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
And this is the biggest pitch of the night for Caleb Bly. 2 outs, bottom of the 4th. Up by a run. A walk loads the bases. A hit probably scores a run for the Ironmen.
The 3-2 pitch. Low ball 4. So the bases are juiced for the Lorain County Ironmen. And their 9-hole hitter.
Mills, Ohio. A sophomore at Ohio University, Jack Longo.
It's going to be Jack Longo to the plate with the bases loaded. Jack Longo, a guy who did not appear in the first of the 2 contests. First pitch, low and away. Ball number 1. It's Sam Casanelli at third. Nate Erskine at second, and Jared Peterson at first. 1-0. That one finds the zone. A call strike 1. Fastball right down the heart of the plate from Bly. Good pitch selection. Longo from Gates Mills, Ohio, home of Hall of Famer Bob Feller and 1995 NL MVP Mo Vaughn. Y'all remember Big Mo Vaughn. 1-1. Swing and a miss. And Bly ahead in this count 1-2. And trying to get himself out of a jam here with the bases juiced.
And Bly got a break there. That pitch bounced on the plate, and Longo chased it. Now you're a pitch away from getting out of this.
Longo came into the game 15th in the league in average. The pitch in there for a called strike 3. He got him looking. Caleb Bly with ice in his veins and the bases loaded sits down. Jack Longo, his 2nd punch out of the inning, his 4th, or should I say 5th, of the game, and that will retire the Lorain County Ironmen here in the 4th. We have played 4 innings of baseball here at the Pipeyard in Lorain County, Ohio. The Scouts lead the Ironmen by a score of 1-0. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back. You are listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network.
To the top of the fifth we go here at the Pipeyard in Lorain County, Ohio. 1-0. The Xenia Scouts lead over the Lorain County Ironmen as we head to the fifth. Dylan Lawtonville will lead it off for the Scouts as it is now raining hard here at the ballpark. To get credit for the win as Lawtonville takes a ball high, you have to get through 5 full innings in the Great Lakes League. And even though this game, because of the doubleheader, is only supposed to go 7, as Lawtonville takes a strike at the knees, 1 ball and 1 strike. You have to get through the full 5. The rain coming down sideways, and now the 1-1 pitch, a curveball in there for a strike. The rain coming down sideways here in Lorain County. The 1-2. A blooper into center field. That ball lands, and Dylan Lawtonville pumps his fist. He's got himself his 3rd hit of the year. A struggle for Dylan Lawtonville. He was 2 for 24.
And you can hear the Scouts dugout is erupting. Lawtonville has not been has been quiet about the fact that he's been struggling at the plate, and especially it's hard to miss it when you see this day in and day out just getting robbed. So good for Lawtonville. He has himself a base knock, and the Scouts with 1 on and nobody out here in the top of the 5th.
And now Ondina goes to lay down a bunt. He pulls back as the pitch goes all the way to the backstop, and Lawtonville moves to second. So Lawtonville, who's hit balls hard all year, has been robbed at the wall 3 times, finally gets a hit on a little bloop single. And Francisco Ondina, who struck out in the 2nd inning his first time up, is up here in the 5th with a duck on the pond at second. The 1-0 pitch. Ondina squares the bunt again, pulls back the pitch outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Ondina 1 for 3 with a walk in the first game, a 2-1 Scouts victory. The Scouts 2-6 coming into the day, badly needing a couple of wins to get back to 4-6. The 2-0 outside, 3 balls and no strikes to Francisco Ondina. 1-0, the Scouts lead over the Ironmen here in the top of the 5th. Dylan Lawtonville stands on second. Ondina, the lefty at the plate. And now he calls time.
And that is going to be a rain delay now.
And the home plate umpire, Brian Miller, is going to call it, as the rain has started to fall a little harder here in Lorain County. And nobody out. Dylan Lawtonville on second for the Scouts. A 1-0 lead here in the top of the 5th. And now, like we said, we have to play 5 to get a win. And here was our dilemma, as Andrew pointed out to me. We do not play the Ironmen again.
Oh, yeah, no.
For the rest of this year. And this is a win that the Scouts badly need. And we're not sure if we would make it up.
Yeah, well, by the Great Lakes League rules, if there is a rainout in the final matchup between 2 teams, then the game does not get redone. Now, previously in the league, the rules had been had been no such rule, and that any rainout could just theoretically not be made up. But in the 2004 or 2015 season, I should say, that ended up causing a lot of problems when a very rainy summer here in the state of Ohio, in certain parts of the state more than others. So there was just huge discrepancies in the standings where one team played 4 or 5 more games than other teams. It screwed up the playoff seeding and so on and so forth. So this is the only exemption. And I remember we're 3.5 hours away from Xenia, where the team calls home. So we do have an off day tomorrow. If this game were to be called, we do have an off day tomorrow. Now, would they reschedule the game to be picked up
tomorrow morning?
Tomorrow morning, I can't tell you for sure. I'd have to. We also don't know if the Ironmen have a game tomorrow. We haven't even bothered to look. Me and Gabe, in terms of that. So that a slight possibility. The Scouts are slated to spend the night here in the northeast corner of Ohio, in the Cleveland area. So I suppose that could be a possibility. I'm going to, as we are out here, check that out. I'm going to see what the deal is with the Of course, maybe the rain will lay off and we'll be able to play a little more. I mean, we're just jumping to conclusions. But as Gabe said, the weather forecast just didn't look particularly promising at all whatsoever. And the field, as they're putting the tarp out right now, and it just becomes a big-time ordeal. I mean, there's also the theoretical outside chance that, I don't know, 4 innings, would they give us credit for a game that is supposed to be 7 innings? Is the rule technically that half of the scheduled game has to be completed? Because if so, 4 innings is more than half of 7 for those of you who love to do math with us here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. But just some out-of-town scores for you. Richmond did knock off Southern Ohio. Bottom of the 9th, Cincinnati and Hamilton are locked up at 5, so that game still very much in action. But
now the other possibility I'm thinking is, will they wait it? Will they? At what point do you say, okay, we're not going to get this in because they're putting the tarp over the field, and will they wait here a couple hours? I know. Again, I don't know what is that up to the league, the teams.
It is up. I don't think. If you're saying that the weather forecast is going to stay on until 1 in the morning rain, no, we're not going to stay here for that long. Let's double check the weather app here. Okay. For those of you that are still hanging on here, that's awesome. We'd love to have you. We know that you guys care so much about.
You must really like us.
Yeah, or at least really like your kids, which would make a lot more sense. Or your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, if Mrs. Cates is out there. So we are in Lorain County. And just while we're looking at this, let's talk about Caleb Bly, who it'd be really unfortunate if he doesn't get any credit for any work that he does here tonight, because Bly, the young, just coming off the redshirt freshman year, the native Texan, coming out and really pinpointing a lot of those key pitches.
The line right now for Bly, 4 innings pitched, 1 hit given up, no runs, of course, none earned. He has walked 3 and hit 1 batter. So a few free passes, but other than that, Caleb Bly has been really spectacular through 4 innings.
Yeah, so here's the weather forecast for Lorain, Ohio. We got the current forecast shows rain. This is updated up to a moment ago. Then slated for 10 p.m., which is obviously 20 minutes from now, as it's 9:38 Eastern Standard Time here. Greater Cleveland area, it's 85% chance of rain with thunder. Then 11 p.m., it's 70% chance of rain with thunder. 12 a.m. is 45% chance of rain with thunder. Now, looking at tomorrow morning and into tomorrow, let me tell you, it's not bad. Not bad at all whatsoever. You got basically clear forecast for the majority of the day. Chance of rain never surpasses like 20%. Now, I don't know what protocol is here. I usually carry the Great Lakes League rules.
And just to add to the possibility of playing tomorrow, the Ironmen do not have a game scheduled tomorrow.
We are, but you have to understand, folks, that we are totally spitballing here. Like we have no idea what they're going to do. But what we can tell you is that the tarp is on the field right now. We are waiting on further instruction. So, I don't know what to do here. There's been some fun rainouts before. We got rained out on July 4th. Now here's one for you, Gabe. We're talking about Caleb Fernholz and maybe the possibility of Caleb Fernholz rejoining the squad later in the month of June. So Fernholz was a very effective pitcher for the Scouts last year. Had an ERA of like 2.4, right? But he had one outing. It was July 4th. Comes out. He had just gone to a wedding. He went back to his native state of Wisconsin, goes to a wedding, leaves for 5 days or something, and leaves after his last start, doesn't come back until his next start. His last start was the second game of a doubleheader at Irish Hills Leprechauns, where he threw 7 innings pitched, shutout. He leaves, goes to Wisconsin, goes to the wedding, comes back, doesn't throw that entire week, and we needed him to spot start on the 4th of July. So he comes in, just starts pouring rain, like first inning, gives up a 5 spot. 5 or 6 all the runs earned. Dude just hadn't thrown. And then the game gets called after the second inning because of rain. So we were about to pull him, but it was pouring rain. The game got rained out. So what happens is the second to last game of the season, then now fast forward to July 27th, we restart the game at 5-0. It just happens to be that Fernholz it's back to his spot in the rotation. So Fernholz picks up the game that he was still pitching in, just fresh, at 5-0 in the second inning, start of the second inning. Ends up, pitching another, I think it goes into the 8th or something like that, allows another 1 or 2 runs. But unfortunately, if you look at the end of the year stats, Fernholz, who had his ERA sitting around 2.1, 2.2, he gets 8 runs or 7 runs, 7 innings, tacked on right at the end, stays out of the leaderboards. And unfortunately it's kind of just one of those outlier moments, right? Those outlier moments where you can't get it for the people voting at the end of the year for first team all league, second team all league. At that point, his ERA it got pushed up to about 4. It's 7 earned runs on the thing. So it's
the rain out killed him.
Yeah, the rain out killed him. The other problem that we have here, if this game is picked up tomorrow, is we talk about pitching. Caleb Bly it's highly doubtful that he's going to be able to go to sleep tonight, wake up tomorrow, and throw. And if you're Corey Coombs, the pitching coach for the Xenia Scouts, as pressed as they are for pitching, to have to put in another spot starter tomorrow to pitch 3 innings.
Only up 1-0.
Only up 1-0. Not a position you want to be in.
Jack Rains went tonight. Landon Williams went tonight.
Yeah, and those are 2 guys. And something you might want to look forward to if you're a Scouts fan is, are we going to see Jack Rains permanently inserted into the rotation? That could happen. Landon Williams as well. And the Scouts, who, if you look at this, and between these 2 games, we have 10 innings of play in the first game. We have 4 innings down so far, and we have 1 run allowed by the Xenia Scouts. This is a team whose ERA as a team coming into today, north of 7.
One of the worst in the league.
Yes, certainly one of the worst in the league. And the team that has been plagued by big blow-up innings in the first 3. So this is a big positive, whether we walk out of here with 1 win, 2 wins, or a win and a loss. Seeing what the pitching has done, starting pitching, 4 innings scoreless from Caleb Bly thus far.
4 2/3 scoreless from Landon Williams. 5 1/3, only 1 run given up by Jack Rains. Rains has been spectacular this year. He had a walk and 2 strikeouts today. That brought Jack Rains' total to 2 walks and 14 strikeouts on the year. And then Landon Williams says, I'll one-up you. Landon Williams, 1 walk, 17 strikeouts on the year now. And that's the one thing I take away from today as well. Is
absolutely.
Because the pitching rotation has not been good from the Scouts thus far early in the year, and they get 2 quality starts from Jack Rains and Caleb Bly today. Landon Williams gives them 4 2/3 innings in relief of wonderful pitching, and it'd be a real shame if the Scouts can only walk away from here with 1 win.
And quite frankly, and not to knock the offense, but the margin for error in this game was minimal. Does it look like the rain's calming down to you?
And I was going to say it's calmed down, but the question is,
will it restart and then start thundering and lightning?
I do not know. Did they see lightning the first time, or did they hear thunder?
No.
Or did they just
I don't believe it was that, because I don't know, we have headsets on, so maybe we wouldn't have heard it. But you live in Ohio. When it thunders and lightnings in Ohio, you can usually tell.
But also with Ohio, like you said, this thing is very slow right now. In about 7 minutes, it could be a torrential downpour.
Yeah, it could. I'm trying to. What's the exact radar looking like? It would be. Sometimes the radar itself is a little bit more trustworthy than the. It still definitely is going to rain tonight. There's very little question about that. And I'm looking at the radar now, and Weather in motion. I mean, it is.
It is set to rain the entire
Yeah.
night.
All right, I'm going to future here. All right, so we got just a big time cloud. Big time cloud, yeah.
All the way through.
Yeah, all the way through until
And
about 1 a.m.
But right now, it's not doing what the radar says it's supposed to do.
Yeah. That is what we call, well, I mean, it's not. We're not going to call that fake news.
That's Ohio weather.
That's
is what
Ohio
that's
weather,
called.
yeah. But you know what? We're just going to step off for, I would say, a moment, and we'll come back to you so we can see if, rather than spitballing and
Let's try to get some
coming up
actual
with theories
information.
ourselves, actual information would benefit too. So just leave the browser on with the sound, and we'll pop back on and give you an update one way or another. You'll hear from us again. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. You're listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network.
In the middle of a rain delay here in Lorain County, Ohio, a 1-0 Xenia Scouts lead over the Lorain County Ironmen as we're here in the top of the 5th inning. Quick update for you guys. Lightning is in the area. We have to wait at least a half hour from each lightning strike. I know I saw one about a minute ago. Again, according to the radar, it is supposed to be pouring right now. It is not. But lightning is in the area, so we cannot continue for at least a half hour. But they are going to try to play this game tonight.
Oh.
They're going to wait it out at least, I would say, I mean, it's a half hour from each lightning strike, so I would say at least another hour or so.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
we'll see. We'll see if we can get
keep
this
you
in.
updated. Y'all are on the Twitter. Y'all are on the Facebook. We'll tell you.
Yep. And we'll make sure to tweet if the game is resuming. We're just going to step aside for now.
We'll keep the broadcast live. I mean,
And
what is it?
as soon as we know if we're playing or not, we will announce it.
Yeah.
We will tweet it. And if we are playing, we will tweet it and we will just keep broadcasting. Thanks for sticking around. You're listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network.
what I went with.
Back here in Lorain County, Ohio, after about an hour 15, hour
Seems like longer than that.
20-minute
Seems like longer than that for sure.
rain delay. Unfortunately, on the radar, it still looks like that we have some rain coming, but at the moment, no rain in sight. The tarp is being rolled up now. We got a huge puddle in left field, a couple little splotches in the infield, but it looks like we're going to try to get this game in. And just to recap the situation real fast, obviously I'll do it again before we get going here, but Dylan Lottenville stands on second for the Scouts. He singled to begin the fifth inning on a bloop single. 1-0 is the Scouts' lead over the Ironmen here in the top of the fifth. Doubleheader today, so we are only playing 7, unless, of course, we go into extras once again. Game 1 went into 10 innings. Francisco Andina at the plate for the Scouts, and now as the tarp continues to be rolled up, the pitcher, Carter Semenchik for the Ironmen, will start to get warmed up once again.
It'll be interesting to see if they put it the same pitchers. Well, an hour is kind of it's the same guy. Oh, wow, that guy is getting warmed up. He's on the mound warming up.
Yes.
So that's why you got to look out the window when you're in a broadcast booth, man. Don't look at your phone. Well, here's what I'm looking at right now. I'm looking at AccuWeather.com, a credible weather website. And according to AccuWeather.com, the forecast that remains is light rain. It says light rain specifically. It said rain before. Now it says light rain. So the forecast is for light rain from now until 12:12 a.m. But will we be able to play through light rain?
It looks like it right now.
It looks like there is a deep desire to play this ball game, and the Scouts are out there getting stretched out right now. We're going to be playing some baseball by the looks of it, and so shout out to any of you who hung on, and we had viewers throughout pretty much the entire 45-minute period that we were not on the air, which was pretty sweet. To know that you guys are hanging your hats on this, because I'm hanging my hat on this too.
And
let's see what happened in that Hamilton game.
Yeah, run us through some scores.
Yeah, I'll run you through some scores indeed. So, big night in the Great Lakes League on this rainy June the 20th, 2017. In the first game of the doubleheader between these Scouts and these Ironmen, the Scouts took it 2-1 in 10 innings. The Richmond Jazz down to the Southern Ohio Copperheads by a score of 5-2. Licking County defeated Grand Lake 2-1 in 11 innings. The St. Clair Green Giants beat the Grand River Loggers 8-4. The Muskegon Clippers beat the Lake Erie Monarchs 10-7. The Hamilton Joes beat the Cincinnati Steam 8-5. That was in 10 innings. And currently it's the bottom of the ninth in Gallia, and Lima leads Gallia by a score of 13-4. So a lot of action going on in the Great Lakes League, and all of it having pretty big implications on the standings overall. But we're going to have to it'll be interesting to see where we stand at the moment.
And just looking at it, they have updated the Great Lakes League website. Richmond, of course, with the win over the Copperheads, moves to 6-2. The Copperheads fall to 5-4. And with the Joes beating the Steam are also at 5-4. So you got Richmond in first place at 6-2, the Copperheads in second, and the Steam in third, both at 5-4.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what the tiebreaker is right now, that the Copperheads are in second and the Steam are in third, but they're both at 5-4. So with a win tonight, Xenia could move to 4-6, and all of a sudden the Scouts, with the Copperheads and the Jazz going at it tomorrow night, are only
a game and a half
back of the Copperheads and the Steam. They would still be 3.5 back, or 3 back of the. Actually, no, that would be a little weird because Richmond's only played 8 games. This is our 10th.
Yeah, I mean, these things will all even out over time, I'm sure. But the important thing is that the Jazz are in first, but the Scouts kind of enter that middle of the pack area with a win in this second game right here, which is why it's exciting. As I look out of the window and see the Scouts taking a warm up, swinging the bat. It'll be interesting. The baseball is a game of ebbs and flows, and momentum, of course, and all of that kind of gets screwed up when you take a seat for about an hour and a half and sit in the dugout. So, 3 innings left of baseball, the 5th, the 6th, and the 7th. We're going to see how this one goes.
And the tarp, it's a very slow process to get the tarp off the field. They dragged it into left field, got all the water off of it, dragged it back over the field. That way, all the water is in left. It's not on the infield. So Jordan Lambert out there in left is going to have a huge pond to work around.
Playing in the ocean.
And then after they get it back in the infield, they fold it up into right, and then they roll it off, and it is just now being rolled up. Again, to make this game count, we just have to get through 5. So we just have to get through one more inning. But as long as it doesn't rain if it rains.
Gabe, my sneaking suspicion is we have made it this far. And with the fact that in an hour from now, the forecast clears up completely, we will complete 7 innings of this game. It's just a matter of how long it's going to take us to complete 7 innings of this game, which is crazy.
But you don't think so? Say we get through 5, we're in the middle of the 6th, and it starts downpouring again. I think they would call it. I don't think they would wait again.
I think they would wait. The guy who runs this team seems pretty insistent to play this game.
A couple rakes out there right now on the baselines. I'm not sure. What we don't know is if Caleb Bly will come back out on the mound for the Scouts. Again, a long break here in this rain delay. And now, as we try to get set to go here, it starts raining once again. Just bad luck here in Lorain. Not as hard as before, but it definitely is drizzling. And I'm gonna step aside one more time, just because I have no idea how long this is gonna take. We could be warming up for a while. Thanks for sticking around, folks. We will keep giving updates, and it looks like we are going to try to get going here in Lorain in a little bit.
Yes.
Back here for the top of the fifth inning. I almost said bottom there. The top of the fifth inning at the Pipeyard in Lorain County, Ohio. A 1-0 lead for the Scouts here in the top of the fifth as we get done with our rain delay here. A solid hour-and-a-half rain delay here at the Pipeyard. 1-0. The Scouts lead over the Ironmen. Dylan Lottenville on second for Xenia. Francisco Andina at the plate for the Scouts, the 9-hole hitter. He's 0 for 1 in this game. He struck out back in the second inning. In the first game, he was 1 for 3 with a walk. That one hit was a double down the right field line. And now I believe the same pitcher, Carter Semenchik, on the mound, the righty, a 6'1" righty from John Carroll, a sophomore. With John Carroll this past season, 0-1 in 15 appearances, a 5.68 ERA. Now the 2-0 to Andina catches the outside corner for strike one. The rain here is a steady drizzle. It has not quite stopped, but once again, we need to get through 5. We have to get through 5. Anything else will be bonus. 2 balls and 1 strike to Francisco Andina, the center fielder tonight for the Scouts. Lottenville leads off second. The 2-1 way outside. A good catch there by Nathan Erzin on the outside part of the plate. And, I guess it was 3-1. So Francisco Andina walks, and the runners are on first and second for the Scouts with nobody down.
Back to the top of the order, and the Scouts with an opportunity here to tack on a couple runs. I mean, it's been a minute, but it'd be hard to expect as the bunt is laid down.
Beachy lays down a bunt, and the throw is wide. It sails into right field. Lottenville comes around to score. Andina will be holed up at third. Beachy moves to second, and the Scouts lead 2-0 and have 2 runners in scoring position with nobody out.
And Scouts coming out attacking early, and that's so important here. You know, you don't know who's going to come out and pitch in the second half of this game. You don't know if Caleb Bly is going to be able to have that same command that he did earlier in the game. 1-0, simply not going to cut it. But now Ryan Park with runners at second and third and nobody out here. A long fly ball will bring another one home. Anything in the gap could possibly bring home 2.
And now the pitch to Park. Outside, ball 1. The 1-0 catches the outside corner, strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike to Ryan Park. 2-0, the Xenia lead over the Ironmen. Beachy leads off second. Andina on third. The pitch to Park. A curveball in there at the knees. Strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Carter Semenchik this is his second game with the Ironmen in his first appearance. 5 innings pitched, 4 hits allowed, 3 runs, only 1 of them earned. 4 walks, 3 strikeouts. The 1-2 pitch to Park, low and away, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Semenchik allowed 2 doubles in that first appearance.
And Semenchik struggling with his command right now, missing a lot of stuff on the outside.
And now Park grounds one toward the second baseman, Carpenter. Andina will not move toward the plate. Park grounds out to second, and there's 1 down.
And not particularly productive, but the second baseman playing way in. And it would have been a tough task for Francisco Andina to try to come home on that one. Like, the best he really could have done is dance and see if he could have stalled enough time to force the a long wait to give Park a chance of being safe. But that was underhand shuffle, very easy stuff. So now 1 away, runners at second and third.
The first pitch to Jordan Lambert fouled off behind the plate.
Lambert just missing on that one. The foul straight back.
No balls and 1 strike to Jordan Lambert. Lambert steps up 0 for 2 in this game, an RBI in the 3rd inning on a ground out. And now he fouls a curveball behind the plate as well. No balls and 2 strikes. The Scouts with the 2-0 lead, but you would sure love to add another one on at least a sac fly. The ground ball from Park didn't do it. And to not get another one with runners on second and third with nobody down, that'd be crucial. The 0-2 pitch to Jordan Lambert. A fastball way outside. A good block by Nathan Ayerson to go and scoop that one up to his left. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Now the rain has really subsided here. It's not much going on in terms of precipitation.
One ball and 2 strikes to Jordan Lambert. Andina on third, Beachy on second. The pitch, a curveball roped into right field, but foul. And Jordan Lambert took that one all the way down the line and just missed it.
Yeah, that would have been if that had the opportunity to stay fair. 2 runs come home on that one, but no cigar. The count stays 1-2.
Lambert, the lefty. Semanchik, the righty. The 1-2. Fouled off behind the plate. Jordan Lambert doing a great job at keeping this battle alive. Lambert came in to tonight 19th in the league in average at .370. Tied for 8th in stolen bases with 4. 17th in on-base percentage with a .485 on-base percentage. He had reached base in all 7 games he's played in. The 1-2, a swing and a miss on the outside corner. Lambert goes down, swing, and there's 2 down here in the 5th.
Now a lot of pressure on Kyle Casserly to try to bring another one home at least. The sac fly is off. He's going to have to put something in play. And for Casserly, who has not had an easy time during this doubleheader by any means.
Casserly 0 for 2 in this game with a couple strikeouts, and that ball bounces away from the catcher, Erzin, but not far enough. Andina holds up at third, 1 ball and no strikes. Casserly 1 for 4 in the double with the double in the last game, but the struggles Andrew is referring to is 3 strikeouts in the last game, 2 in this one. So 1 for 6, and now the pitch is outside, ball 2. So 1 for 6 with 5 strikeouts for Kyle Casserly.
Not a great day.
And unfortunately for him, the double was with nobody on base, so he didn't bring anyone home there. The 2-0 to Casserly. A fastball below the knees. He checks his swing. He did not go around. 3 balls and no strikes to Casserly. Andina on third. Ben Beachy stands on second. The 3-0 pitch to Cass on the outside corner just for strike 1. 2-0. The Xenia Scouts lead over the Ironmen here in the top of the 5th inning. It was 1-0 before the rain delay. Lawtonville comes around to score on a bunt by Beachy in an error as Casserly walks on a curveball off the outside edge. The bases are juiced for Chris Ackerman.
Big spot here for Chris Ackerman. Ackerman.
Chris Ackerman.
Yet to get a hit today. He has drawn 2 walks. And for a pitcher that has struggled to find the zone in Carter Semenuk, he's got to throw one here.
The first pitch to Ackerman, right down the middle, belt high. No balls and 1 strike. Ackerman at the plate. Andina on third. Beachy on second. Casserly on first. The bases loaded. 2 down here in the top of the 5th for the Scouts. Hard ground ball, foul down the third baseline. Oh, Ackerman was about a few feet away from a couple RBIs and a double.
But nonetheless, now he finds himself behind in this count. 0-2 here with 2 away.
The Scouts lead the Ironmen 2-0. The 0-2 from Semenchik. High and tight, 1 ball and 2 strikes to the junior from Hillsdale College. Ackerman in the designated hitter role. And here in game number 2, he was behind the plate in game number 1. Now the 1-2. Ackerman fouls one off. He barely got a piece of that one. That went straight down in the dirt.
Yeah, literally getting the most minimal piece of that you can get. But staying alive is Chris Ackerman.
The bases loaded here in the top of the 5th for the Scouts. Andina on third, Beachy second, Casserly first. The 1-2. Ackerman, a ground ball toward the third baseman, Waller. He fires across the diamond in time. So Ackerman is retired, and so are the Scouts here in the 5th. But they had 1 run on a single from Lawtonville and then a bunt from Ben Beachy. The ball thrown away, an error on the Ironmen. Scored Lawtonville, a 2-0 lead for the Scouts heading to the bottom of the 5th. We'll be right back on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. To the bottom of the 5th we go here in Lorain County, Ohio, at the Pipeyard, home of the Lorain County Ironmen. A 2-0 lead for the Xenia Scouts over the Ironmen as we head to the bottom half of the 5th inning. After the hour-and-a-half rain delay, Michael Pineda O'Donnell on the mound for the Scouts. Caleb Bly, 4 innings pitched, 1 hit given up, no runs, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts for Caleb Bly. And now Pineda O'Donnell, his first pitch to the leadoff batter, Chase Canoodle, is high and outside for ball 1. The 1-0 now, just below the knees, 2 balls and no strikes. Game 1 of the doubleheader, the Scouts took it 2-1 in 10 innings over the Ironmen. Because of the doubleheader, we are only playing 7 tonight. The 2-0 pitch, outside, Pineda O'Donnell, 3 straight balls to start his evening to Chase Canoodle, who went 3 for 4 with a sac bunt in game 1, now 1 for 2 in game number 2. He doubled his last time up in the 3rd inning. And that ball's way low and outside. A 4-pitch walk to Chase Canoodle.
And for Pineda O'Donnell, who didn't get much time to warm up, it could be a struggle out there, trying to move back into his regular game form, which normally would require a tight schedule of warming up, stretching, so on and so forth. So Pineda, normally a starter, off schedule now. We'll see what he can do.
Carpenter lays down a bunt right to Pineda O'Donnell. O'Donnell's throw is wide. It pulls Casserly off the bag. And the Ironmen have 2 men on with nobody down here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Not a hot start here for Michael Pineda O'Donnell.
O'Donnell in 2 games thus far this year for the Scouts, 9 innings pitched, 15 hits on O'Donnell. That's the most on the Xenia Scouts team. 12 earned runs given up, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts for Pineda O'Donnell. He's 0-2 in the win-loss column, and this is not the start you're looking for if you're Pineda O'Donnell and the Scouts. Now Antonio Bennett comes up. That ball bounces away from the catcher Park on an outside fastball. The runners move up 90 feet. Canuto on third, Carpenter on second. And the Scouts, who have yet to trail in this ball game, up 2-0 in the bottom of the fifth, Andrew, are in some trouble here.
Yeah, and like you said, not the start Pineda O'Donnell wanted. And if you're the Scouts, if you're Michael Pineda O'Donnell, it's time to buckle down, keep this lead, get a couple outs. And a guy in Antonio Bennett who has not had a great day at the plate, 0 for 2. He went down looking his last time up.
O'Donnell, a deep breath. Now the 1-0 pitch, low and outside, ball 2. And this is where the rain delay really kills the Xenia Scouts. Caleb Bly was pitching his heart out there on the mound. Only 1 hit given up, as we mentioned. His biggest problem was the walks. 3 walks. He hit a batter as well, but he got out of that jam in the 4th inning. And then the rain started to come down. The 2-0 pitch, low and inside. 3 balls and no strikes to Antonio Bennett. Bennett's tied for 25th in the Great Lakes League with 7 RBIs, 27th in the league in on-base percentage at .469. Now the 3-0 pitch for Mike. A fastball high at the chin. It missed, and the bases are juiced for the Ironmen.
Now batting for the Ironmen, the designated hitter, number 34.
And Pineda O'Donnell has not thrown a strike that wasn't put into play. The only is 8 balls. Am I right?
Yep, 8 balls,
and
then
the bunt that was put into play.
And then the bunt. Brady Fott comes to the plate, the lefty who just joined this Ironman team yesterday. The first pitch, Fott drills one high into deep left field. Lambert makes the grab. He'll throw in. The throw will be cut off at third base, but the Ironmen are on the board. A sac fly by Brady Fott in his first game with the Ironmen, and the Scouts lead is 2-1 with 1 down here in the bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, runners at first and second, stay put. That's key. Double play ball could get Pineda O'Donnell out here, but the run that was brought in by Dylan Lawtonville in the top half of this inning has been negated here, and the Scouts, little room to work. This is slated for a 7-inning game.
Sam Casanelli to the plate. He's reached base both times in game number 2 as a curveball from Michael Pineda O'Donnell drops in at the knees for strike 1. The first curveball we've seen from Pineda O'Donnell here in this 5th inning. Casanelli doubled in the 2nd inning. He walked his last time up in the 4th. And Pineda O'Donnell checks the runner at second and steps off. Matthew Carpenter on second, Antonio Bennett on first for the Ironmen. 2-1, the Scouts lead here in the bottom of the 5th. The 0-1 pitch, another curveball fouled off behind the plate. No balls and 2 strikes. And we saw this from Pineda O'Donnell against the Steam in his last outing. He gave up 6 runs in the first 4 innings, but that curveball was his go-to pitch. He was dropping it in there for a strike. His fastball kind of flat coming in from the mound. The Steam hitters were drilling that fastball to the gaps. And right now, the first 2 actual strikes of his night are curveballs. The 0-2 pitch. Another curveball just misses low below the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And Pineda O'Donnell for the 3rd pitch in a row going to that curveball.
One ball, 2 strikes. O'Donnell steps off the mound once again, faked the throw to second. None of the middle infielders, Beachy or Bourgeois, were there. Casanelli now takes a ball just off the outside edge on a fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Sam Casanelli.
After going ahead in this count 0-2, I like the pitch selection by Pineda O'Donnell, but good job by Casanelli, disciplined at the plate, taking these pitches that were very close.
The 2-2 pitch, a curveball low, a good block by Ryan Park behind the plate. 3 balls and 2 strikes, and, well, this is the biggest pitch of the very short inning for O'Donnell.
Indeed, it's there's 2 paths here. A walk could set up big-time failure if he struck him out here. That would make the prospects of getting out of this inning with minimal damage look a lot more likely.
The 3-2 pitch. The runner going from second. The throw down to second from first, and he got him at second base. Oh, my. I apologize for the miscommunication there. The pitch was a strike on the outside corner, strike 3. The runners were going, and Park gunned Antonio Bennett at second base. So the strike him out, throw him out, gets the scouts out of the inning.
Big play. That is about as clutch as it gets. Great pitch by O'Donnell. What a throw by Ryan Park. And what seemed like it could be an inning that could blow up Michael Pineda O'Donnell's face ends up being 1 run. The Scouts still go into the 6th with a 1-run lead here.
1 run on no hits for the Ironmen. A walk, 2 walks, and an error give the Ironmen a run. And the Scouts will have a 2-1 lead as we head to the top of the 6th inning. You're listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. To the top of the 6th we go here in Lorain, Ohio. A 2-1 lead for the Xenia Scouts over the Lorain County Ironmen as we head to the top of the 6th inning. Joey Roddy will lead off the inning for the Scouts. He takes a ball low, 1-0. Roddy followed by Bourgeois and Lottenville. The 3-2 up for the Scouts here in the 6th. Game 2 of the doubleheader will play 7 here at the Pipeyard. Now Roddy fouls back a curveball, 1 ball and 1 strike. The Scouts took game number 1, 2-1 in 10 innings to improve to 3-6 on the year. Xenia 2-6 coming into today. And now trying to work their way back toward 500. The Scouts badly need another win here as Roddy takes an off-speed pitch on the outside corner for strike 2. Joey Roddy on the day combined 0 for 5 with a walk. In this game, he's 0 for 1 with a walk. The 1-2. Roddy watches a curveball below his knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Good take there by Joey Roddy.
Joey Roddy, the strikeout has been the problem for him. 10 coming into today. That was tied 8th in the league for most strikeouts. And he struck out looking his last time up. The 2-2, a ground ball toward third. That ball will bounce foul. And we'll do 2-2 all over again. Joey Roddy, the redshirt freshman from Ohio State. Did not play at Ohio State this past season, a redshirt year for Roddy. The 6-2 righty. The 2-2 pitch, a curveball, swing and a miss from Roddy. And the strikeout continues to be Roddy's
Achilles heel.
Achilles heel. 1 down here in the 6th. Ange Bourgeois steps to the plate for the Scouts. Bourgeois 0 for 2 in game number 2. He flew out to the shortstop in the 2nd inning. He grounded out to the shortstop Bennett his last time up in the 4th. The first pitch to Bourgeois, he shows bunt, pulls back, and that pitch missed just off the outside edge. 1 ball and no strikes. Ange Bourgeois has reached base in all 6 games he's played in, and he continued that streak in game number 1 of the doubleheader. So all 7 games he's played in, Ange Bourgeois has been on base. He has not been on base yet in this one as he takes a strike at the knees, 1-1. Now the 1-1, Bourgeois goes to lay down that bunt again as the third baseman Waller is a little back behind the bag. Bourgeois, hoping to catch him off guard, fouled it off. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I like the idea of the bunt down the third base line here. The grass still pretty wet from the rain. Ball's going to move pretty slowly. Tough to also track down in the mud from third base.
The 1-2, Bourgeois lines one back up the middle, base hit. So Ange Bourgeois continues the on-base streak. 8 games he's played. 8 games Ange Bourgeois has been on base for the Scouts, and there's one on with one out for Xenia here in the 6th.
And Bourgeois just hitting that one smack on the nose, really right back at the pitcher. The pitcher actually kind of having to dodge out of the way as that ball just went right up the middle. And the Scouts with Dylan Lottenville to the plate for the second time in as many innings, even though he's at bats almost 2 hours in between them.
Lottenville led off that 5th inning with a single. Came around to score the second run of the game for the Scouts. The first pitch, low and away, 1 ball and no strikes to the junior from Hillsdale College. Lottenville steps out now, calls time. Ackerman, his Hillsdale teammate, is 0 for 2 with a walk. Donald Ring, the other Hillsdale Charger on this team, is currently at home. Had to stay home, get his arm checked out. Donald Ring having some elbow problems. The 1-0 now to Lottenville. Inside, strike 1. The throw down to first from the catcher, Erzin, is not in time. Bourgeois dives back safely.
And that must have clipped really just the inside part of the plate. Very inside pitch for a called strike there.
Bourgeois, the junior from Biola. Biola 35-18 this past season. Now the 1-1 to Lottenville, and Bourgeois is going to take second. So the wild pitch moves Bourgeois up 90 feet.
And that was a curveball that really just got away from him. Lottenville having to duck to get out of the way, tipped off the side of the catcher's glove, not going very far, but Bourgeois quickly just taking advantage of it and moved up another 90 feet.
2 balls and 1 strike to Lottenville. The pitch, a swing and a miss on a fastball that was right down the middle for Dylan Lottenville. The count's even at 2-2. Lottenville 1 for 3 on the day with 3 walks if you combine the 2 games. Now the 2-2 pitch, inside, ball 3. Dylan Lottenville, 4 walks coming into today. Add another 3, it's up to 7 walks for Dylan Lottenville, who is a very patient hitter at the plate. Bourgeois leads off second. The 3-2 pitch, swing and a miss on a fastball low. It did bounce, the throw down the first. Lottenville is out, but the first baseman, Jarrett Peterson, dropped the ball. Bourgeois moves to third.
So big spot here for Francisco Andina with another run 90 feet away here. Andina, we have seen him perform a couple spots tonight. A couple of walks, and a double came around to score a run in the first contest. Let's see if Andina can bring it again here.
You mentioned the walks. He was tied for 6th in the Great Lakes League in walks coming into tonight with 9. Add a couple more, he's up to 11.
The bunt of possibility again, possibly.
A swing and a miss on a curveball in the dirt. No balls and 1 strike to Francisco Andina.
And from what we've been seeing from Carter Semenic, also with, a real struggle to find control, the pass ball could be another opportunity for Xenia to tack on a run.
Andina, the 5'8 lefty. Bourgeois stands on third. The 0-1 pitch. A curveball just misses off the outside edge. 1 ball and 1 strike to Francisco Andina. Andina, another one of those Xenia Scouts who has reached in all 7 of the games he's played in, and he continues that tonight. Reached on a walk in the first game and a double in the first game, and now a walk here in game 2. Andina lays down the bunt down the third base line. Bourgeois coming home. The throw across the diamond is high. Andina is safe, and he'll take off for second, and he will go in standing up. Francisco Andina lays down the bunt. A little squeeze play there from the Xenia Scouts, and it's 3-1 Xenia here in the top of the 6th.
Well, I hate to say I told you so, but yeah, it was a good idea. The bunt with the wet grass here, and honestly, I mean, don't want to take too much credit for the idea because the throw really was ahead of Francisco Andina, and that would have negated the run if they just got the out at first, but the throw was just rushed, and it was off. Flies past the first baseman and into foul territory on the right field side, and just like that, Another run comes home for the season. Now Ben Beachy, one of the best hitters on this Scouts team, to the plate with a runner in scoring position and 2 outs.
Beachy, the first pitch to him, a strike in the inside corner. Beachy is 1 for 1 here in this second game. I say 1 for 1 because he also reached on a walk. He reached on a walk in the first inning, He singled in the third, and he reached on an error in the fifth. So he's been on base all 3 times. Now he fouls one back behind the Scouts dugout. No balls and 2 strikes to the sophomore from Otterbein.
Do you think they'll give Andina credit for a hit?
And unfortunately, we do not know that answer right now. Andina's on second. The 0-2 pitch. Beachy fouls it off once again. That's a tough one to rule because the throw from Caleb Waller was very high, but it was tough to see if it was going to beat Andina to the bag.
Yeah.
The 0-2 to Ben Beachy. Low and away. A good block by the catcher, Nathan Erzin. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Beachy, one of the top hitters on that Otterbein team this past year. Hit .298 for the Cardinals. Now the 1-2 pitch. A curveball just misses off the inside edge. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ben Beachy, thus far in the Great Lakes year, leads this Xenia Scouts team with 9 RBIs. That's tied for 16th in the league. The 2-2 pitch. Beachy skies one into foul territory. It'll go out of play and will stay at 2-2.
And Beachy just working Carter Semenik here. Remember, Ben, he's 2 for 2 on the day with a walk. He has reached base all 3 times he's come to the plate. And looking to create some offense here in a 2-2 count with 2 away.
The pitch. Low and away. It bounces away from the catcher. Andina's going to take third. And another run is 90 feet away for Ben Beachy. Andina takes off on the wild pitch. And the count is 3-2 to Ben Beachy with 2 down. Well, I would say the runners are taking off. So Andina will start to make his way home on the pitch. The payoff pitch. Beachy swings and a miss at a fastball in the inside corner. But the Scouts get another run here in the top of the 6th inning on a single from Bourgeois, who comes around to score. 3-1 is the Scouts' lead as we head to the bottom half of the 6th. You're listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network.
The Ironmen, the third baseman, number 18, Caleb Waller.
To the bottom half of the 6th inning we go here in Lorain, Ohio at the Pipeyard, home of the Lorain County Ironmen. 3-1 is the Xenia Scouts lead here in Game 2 of the doubleheader tonight. An hour-and-a-half rain delay delayed this one. But we only play 7 here because of the doubleheader, and the Scouts have a 3-1 lead with Caleb Waller coming to the plate for the Ironmen. Michael Pineda O'Donnell still on the mound for the Scouts. He gave up the run in the 5th, but got out of a jam after a strike him out, throw him out. And now He starts Waller with a curveball in there for a strike. Caleb Waller 0 for 2 here in game number 2. He has struck out swinging both times. The 0-1 pitch, a curveball lined foul down the first base line. No balls and 2 strikes on Caleb Waller. Pineda O'Donnell, a guy who has been hit a lot on the mound. The third highest batting average against in the league, 357 is what opponents bat against Pineda O'Donnell. But he's ahead on Waller 0-2. The pitch, a fastball way outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Caleb Waller. Three to 1, the Scouts lead here in the bottom half of the 6th. The 1-2 from O'Donnell, a fastball skied foul behind the third base dugout. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Waller's been at the hot corner both games for the Ironmen. In game number 1, Caleb Waller went 2 for 4. He started the day 2 for 2 with a couple singles. He's 0 for 4 in his last 4 appearances. The 1-2 pitch, a curveball, catches the outside corner for strike 3. Pineda O'Donnell gets his second strikeout of the evening. He gets Waller looking, and there's 1 down here in the 6th.
And for Caleb Waller, just talk about a tale of 2 ball games. In the first contest, 2 for 4, scores a run. In this game, 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts.
And that'll bring up Nathan Erzin, the catcher behind the plate for the Ironmen here in game number 2. Erzin has reached base both times on a walk and a hit by pitch, and now he takes the ball low and away, 1-0. So we head to the rain delay with the Scouts up 1-0, and ever since, everybody has scored in their half of the inning. The Scouts get 1 at the top of the 5th. Now, the 1-0 pitch catches the outside edge, a fastball, 1 ball and 1 strike to Erzin. The Ironmen answer with 1 in the bottom half of the 5th, and then the Scouts tack another one on in the top half of the 6th inning to get us to the 3-1 lead. Now the 1-1 pitch. High and tight, 2 balls and 1 strike to Nathan Erzin.
And Gabe, they told me that Wednesday was my off day, but in 12 minutes, it will be Wednesday, and odds are I'll still be broadcasting baseball for the Xenia Scouts.
The 2-1 pitch. Skied high in the air, an infield pop-up. Joey Roddy at third coming in. He dropped the ball. Roddy couldn't make a read on it. It honestly looked like Ben Beachy had the better angle on that, but Beachy, the shortstop, did not call Roddy off, and the error allows the Ironmen to have a runner on with 1 out.
And that is a really tough pill to swallow if you're Joey Roddy. That's a tough pill to swallow if you're the Xenia Scouts. Shades of Luis Castillo in 2009 for the New York Mets, if anyone gets that deep reference. Just that would have been it. That would have been an easy out, but instead, a man on and 1 out now for Jared Peterson.
Peterson takes a ball below the knees, 1-0. Peterson flew out to Lambert and left in the 2nd inning, walked in the 4th. He did not play in game number 1 of the doubleheader. O'Donnell throws over to first. Cashley won't even apply a tag as Erzin gets back easily.
Michael Pineda O'Donnell, by the way, a member of the Guatemalan national team.
Yep. And he throws over to first once again. Nathan Erzin back safely. 1 ball and no strikes to Jared Peterson. Erzin has not attempted a stolen base thus far this year, as that pitch from O'Donnell catches the outside edge. 1 ball and 1 strike. O'Donnell taking his time on the mound. The 1-1 pitch, the runner will take off, and now Park's going to hold the ball as a little bit of a fake steal there. Erzin on first danced about halfway down the line and decided to come back.
I could tell you, it's not the worst strategy in the world, the way that the ball is wet. It's been slipping and sliding out there. A lot of balls getting away from people and trying to force a rush throw back over to first on the pickoff attempt.
O'Donnell throws over to first once again. Nothing doing. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jared Peterson. Peterson from Slippery Rock University. Now the 1-2, a curveball misses off the outside corner, 2 balls and 2 strikes. He did not play with the Rocks last season.
Is that their nickname, the Rocks?
Yeah, they are the
Wow.
Slippery Rock Rocks.
Wow. Intimidating. I mean, I guess rock, paper, scissors. Rock beats scissors.
The 2-2 fouled off behind the plate. But yeah, I thought the same thing. That's an interesting one. Peterson, he had to go back to high school then for his latest stats. He played at Berea Mid-Park High School in Berea, Ohio. He was the Southwestern Conference Pitcher of the Year as a senior. And he holds the single game record with 14 strikeouts. Obviously, that high school record doesn't really matter here.
Oh, no, not much.
but that is the last statistics on Peterson. And now a curveball misses just below the knees. O'Donnell with a nice pitch there. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
That's a gimme that curveball. O'Donnell possibly looking for the call there, but no cigar. 3-2 goes the count.
The payoff pitch way outside, ball 4. And the Ironmen have the tying run on first here in the bottom of the 6th with 1 out.
And this is kind of where the error by Roddy really starts to sting. With now a great hitter in the top of the order coming up here with Jack Longo, who's the 9-man, but he is not the worst hitter in this lineup. He's simply in the 9 hole to set up the guy in the 1 spot, Chase Canoodle.
Bingo. The first pitch to Longo, a fastball outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Longo came into tonight batting .381. He's 0 for 2 in this game. He did not play in game number 1 of the doubleheader. He grounded out to Roddy at third in the 3rd inning. He struck out looking in the 4th. The 1-0 pitch, a swing and a miss on a fastball, 1 ball and 1 strike to Jack Longo. Longo, a sophomore at Ohio University, part of that Mid-American Conference Championship Bobcat team this past season. The 1-1, grounded toward Roddy at third. He fields it on a hop, goes over to second to first, and he's safe at first. Jack Longo beat it out. Roddy went to second and got the out. So the runners are on the corners here for the Ironmen with 2 down.
And I mean, just a slow developing play there. Not much you can do. A 5-6-3 double play would have been, or the 5-4-3 double play, I should say, would have been tailor-made, and it would have been really nice. But now it's runners at the corners and the most dangerous hitter in this lineup, and Chase Canoodle. A big spot here for Michael Pineda O'Donnell.
Canoodle 1 for 2 in game number 2. He walked his last time up in the 5th. The first pitch to Canoodle, way low, a good block by Park. 1 ball and no strikes. And my apologies, we do have a pinch hitter for this at-bat. It's Michael Blatchford, as I now see the new number. Actually, a kind worker of, and now this ball's flown high and deep toward right center field, and that ball will get in the gap. No, he did catch it, and there's the signal. Sorry, we are up here in the press box. There's a pole right in front of us. You could barely see the right center field gap, and I thought that ball got down because the Ironman runners just kept on and going, and then we see the signal from the field umpire, Rudy Denias, and a great catch by Francisco Andina gets the Scouts out of this jam. A 3-1 lead for Xenia heading to the 7th. We'll be right back on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network.
Leading off the 7th inning for Xenia, the catcher, number
Heading to the 7th inning here at the Pipeyard in Lorain County, Ohio. The Scouts lead the Ironmen 3-1 as we head to the 7th, and it's actually the last inning of this ball game as we're in game number 2.
Ideally, it's the last inning of this ball game
of the doubleheader,
barring 2 runs from the Ironmen in the bottom half.
It didn't really go that way in game 1 either. We went to 10 innings in game 1, a 2-1 Scouts victory. As Ryan Park steps to the plate for the Scouts, he takes a ball outside from the new pitcher Tony Euro for the Ironmen. Euro will be a senior with the Bobcats, the Ohio Bobcats in the Mid-American Conference. On the mound as a southpaw, the lefty. Now the 1-0. Outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Tony Euro did not play with the Bobcats this past season, but thus far this summer he's appeared in 3 games, 4 1/3 innings pitched. He's given up 5 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned. Now the 2-0 pitch to Park. Outside, 3 balls and no strikes. Tony Euro, a sidearm delivery on the mound. Now the 3-0 pitch. Just below the knees, a 4-pitch walk to Ryan Park, and the Scouts have the leadoff runner aboard here in the 7th.
And nothing would be better for the Scouts than to tack on a 1 or 2, take the air out of this place, and give Michael Pineda O'Donnell some room to work here in the bottom half of this final inning of regulation play.
And walks have been a problem for Tony Euro. 4 1/3 innings pitched, 5 walks, make it 6 for Euro that he's given up. And now a bunt laid down by Lambert, and that ball is foul.
That one could have just died on the line if it had been like that ball was bunted, rolled, and then it just stopped.
And that's why I think that ball might have hit Jordan Lambert on the leg, because that ball, from our vantage point at least, looked like it was a little bit on that white line. And the home plate umpire, Brian Miller, called that ball foul. No balls and 1 strike to Jordan Lambert. The 0-1. And now it's low and outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. I'm mixing up my names now. It's so late.
Yeah, we've been here for a while.
I said Brian Miller was the home plate umpire, which is true, but then I added Miller to Jordan's name, and that's not the case. 1 ball and 1 strike to Jordan Lambert. A lefty-on-lefty matchup here. And this time Lambert gets the bunt down. They're going to go to second. No. Euro couldn't get out of his glove. The throw to first. Lambert is out, so he does his job. A sack bunt moves Park over to second with 1 down.
So now Kyle Casserly to the plate. Casserly, who has been plagued by the strikeout all day. If you count him up, that is 5. So far, he did have a double in his final at-bat of the last contest. In what should be his final at-bat of this contest, let's see if he can create a similar result and bring one home.
He takes a ball low and away, 1-0. Casserly walked his last time up in the 5th, and as Andrew mentioned, he's been the victim of the strikeout quite often tonight. He struck out in the 1st and the 3rd.
And now remember, with the southpaw now on the mound here in the top of the 7th, change of pace.
The 1-0 catches the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike to Kyle Casserly. Ryan Park on second after the walk, and the sack bunt by Jordan Lambert moved him over there. 3-1 is the Scouts' lead here in the top of the 7th, which is our final inning tonight here in Game 2 of the doubleheader. Now Casserly watches an off-speed pitch sink in there on the outside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Cass came into tonight 4 for 29 at the plate. Now the 1-2 pitch from Euro. Oh, a check swing foul ball from Kyle Casserly kept him alive.
And Casserly just smiling and shaking his head, knowing that he got the most minimal piece of that one.
And he just can't seem to see that off-speed pitch tonight. We've seen him hit plenty of curveballs and changeups before, but the off speed has gotten Casserly tonight. And sometimes you just have those type of nights. The 1-2 pitch to Cass. A fastball on the outside corner, strike 3. Casserly goes down looking. And there's 2 down here in the 7th.
Now batting for Xenia, Chris Ackerman.
So the last hope to keep this inning going for the Scouts comes to the plate in Chris Ackerman.
Ackerman steps to the plate. 0 for 2 with a walk here in game 2. The first pitch to Ackerman. A swing and a miss at a fastball on the inside corner. No balls and 1 strike. Ackerman 0 for 3 with a walk in game number 1 as well. So he's 0 for 5 with a couple walks on the day. Ackerman, another one of those guys who has reached base in every game he's played for the Scouts, though. He's played in 6, make it 7 and 8 tonight. And he's reached base with a walk or a hit in all of them. And now a good curveball from Tony Euro catches the outside edge. No balls and 2 strikes. Ackerman behind the plate in game 1, the designated hitter here in game 2. A 3-1 Scouts lead here in the top of the 7th. Ryan Park stands on second base. No balls and 2 strikes to Chris Ackerman. The 0-2 from the lefty Euro. Swing and a miss on a curveball on the outside corner. Strike 3. Tony Euro gets his second strikeout of the inning. And we'll head to the bottom half of the 7th. The Scouts are 3 outs away from win number 4. You're listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network.
The 7th, and it's do or die time. Number 4, Matt Carpenter.
To the bottom of the 7th we go. A 3-1 Scouts lead over the Ironmen here in Lorain, Ohio at the Pipeyard. Matthew Carpenter steps to the plate for the Ironmen to lead off the 7th inning. Game 2 of the doubleheader, so the final 3 outs here for the Scouts. As Carpenter lines one foul down the third baseline. No balls and 1 strike. Joey Roddy at the hot corner playing way in on the base in case of a bunt. Ben Beachy back on the grass as the shortstop. So is Bourgeois at second. Casserly almost even with the base at first. A swing and a miss on a fastball now. No balls and 2 strikes to Matthew Carpenter.
Good start here by Michael Pineda O'Donnell.
Scouts are 3 outs away from win number 4. Came in today 2-6, last place in the Southern Division. Now the 0-2. A fastball just below the knees, 1 ball and 2 strikes. So a win right now would bring the Scouts to 4-6. Hamilton did win today. They moved to 3-5, I believe. But with the 4th win, the Scouts would move up 1 in the division. Now a swing and a miss. No, that ball got just tipped by the batter Carpenter. And I mean just tipped.
I mean, it really looks like a swing and a miss there. But new life for Matt Carpenter, the Ohio State Buckeye here. with his teammate Joey Roddy over at third.
The 1-2. Ground ball, base hit up the middle. Matthew Carpenter gets the leadoff runner on for the Ironmen here in the 7th. And the tying run comes to the plate in Antonio Bennett.
Now batting for the Ironmen, the shortstop, number 7, Antonio Bennett.
Bennett here in game number 2, 0 for 2 with a walk. He got caught stealing in the 5th. On that strike him out, throw him out.
And Bennett, who is 0 for 2 on the day, did draw a walk his last time up, ended up getting caught stealing on the strike him out, throw him out.
Bennett, the righty. Matthew Carpenter on first for the Ironmen. The curveball hits Bennett in the back. Pineda O'Donnell allows the leadoff single. He hits Bennett on the first pitch of the at-bat, and the winning run comes to the plate for the Ironmen. And the tying run now at first, and Brady Fott at the plate for the Lorain County Ironmen.
In a very similar situation to what we saw last inning, except for last inning there was one out, but looks like Bubba Cates is going to come out to the mound and have a word with Michael Pineda O'Donnell. Don't know who would come in relief here.
I do not know either, as no one is in the Scouts bullpen. Brady Fott at the plate for the Ironmen. And with a 3-1 lead, the Scouts have a tad bit of breathing room. Obviously, you do not.
Tying man is aboard.
You do not want extra innings here, but
no.
It's been a long day, folks. We got first pitch of the first game is at 5:05. It was supposed to be a 7-inning game. It goes 10 innings.
It's Wednesday. We're still here.
And then about an hour and 40-minute rain delay gets us to 12:09 a.m. and a 3-1 lead here in the bottom of the 7th for the Scouts. 3 outs away from a victory. But now Brady Fott at the plate for the Ironmen. He's the winning run. Fott just joined this Ironman team yesterday. This is his first appearance with the Ironmen. A junior from Bellarmine University in Louisville, Kentucky. It's a Division II school. And Fott was not even on the roster, so I apologize, folks. We do not have any info on him.
Anything about him.
Except for the college he went to. The first pitch from Michael Pineda O'Donnell, just below the knees, 1 ball and no strikes. Brady Fott 0 for 2 on the day, a sac fly back in the 5th to bring home the only run of the game for the Ironmen.
Bennett's from the left side here against the righty O'Donnell.
The 1-0, a swing and a miss at a fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Big uppercut swing for Brady Fott. You think he realizes that a home run would end this ball game? For a big guy in Fott who looks to be about 6'4", maybe 6'3".
The 1-1 pitch to Fott will not be delivered quite yet as Pineda O'Donnell fakes the throw to second. Now he's back on the mound and ready to go. The 1-1 pitch, a fastball off the plate, off the outside of the plate. 2 balls and 1 strike to Brady Fott. And the Scouts just love to create drama, I'll tell you that. Already a walk-off wild pitch win this year. Now the 2-1 to Fott. A fastball in there at the knees for strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes, and Brady Fott not really liking the call.
Making it be known.
Yep, says a few words to the home plate umpire, Brian Miller. Runners on first and second, nobody out. A 3-1 lead here in the bottom of the 7th for the Scouts. The 2-2 pitch to Fott. A curveball off the outside edge. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Big pitch here for Michael Pineda O'Donnell. I feel like I've said that 30 times in the last 3 innings, but it's true. The Scouts have been operating and forcing Pineda O'Donnell to operate under very high pressure.
The bottom of the 7th, the last inning of game number 2 of the doubleheader. The winning run in Brady Fott at the plate for the Ironmen. A 3-1 lead for the Scouts. Now the payoff pitch. On the outside edge, strike 3. O'Donnell gets the fastball to catch the outside corner, and there's 1 down here in the 7th.
He got him looking there, and a big out for Michael Pineda O'Donnell. He is 2 away now.
And Brady fought, was about to flip his bat to the dugout. He thought he drew the walk. Instead, O'Donnell gets the strikeout, and Sam Casanelli steps to the plate for the Ironmen. First pitch to Casanelli, a curveball chopped toward Beachy at short. Beachy picks it up, will go to first with it. They get Casanelli at first. So there is now 2 down here in the 7th.
But both runners advance another 90 feet. So it's the tying run at second
The third baseman, number 18,
with
Caleb Waller.
2 outs here. So the runners will go. And Caleb Waller, a guy who had a couple of hits in the first game, has struck out 3 times here in the second game. An opportunity for redemption for him. And if you're Michael Pineda O'Donnell, an opportunity to slam the door.
3-1 the Scouts lead. Bottom of the 7th, 2 down. Runners on second and third for the Ironmen. And Waller watches a curveball below the knees. 1 ball and no strikes. Matthew Carpenter on third. Antonio Bennett on second. Bennett is the tying run for the Ironmen. Waller is 0 for 3 with 3 Ks, just as Andrew just mentioned. The 1-0 pitch. A fly ball high and deep into center field. Ondina retreating, and he makes the grab. That's going to be the game. The Xenia Scouts sweep the Ironmen here on a long Tuesday evening. A 2-1 win in game number 1, a 3-1 win here in game 2. And Francisco Ondina, that speed in center field probably just saved, and in fact, it did save a 2-run double to tie the game.
And you know, Gabe, all you can do here is exhale. It was 2 incredibly hard-fought matchups between these 2 ball clubs. The pitchers on both sides, both throwing so well. And, you know, when I came into this game today, I thought, well, let's go look and see what happened between these 2 teams last year. And I saw the scores, 2-0 Scouts, 3-0 Scouts. And I thought to myself, well, after what we've been seeing so far this season, what are the odds of that happening again? But as it goes, the first game, a 2-1 score, a 3-1 score in this game. So add 1 run for the Ironmen in each game. They get a little bit closer, but tremendous work by Caleb Bly. Great work in relief by Michael Pineda O'Donnell. And the Scouts, who seemed dead in the water, you know, just 48 hours ago, come here, 3.5-hour trip, 10 hours at the field, and they come out with 2 wins and a new sign of life going into an off day and then heading to Licking County over the weekend.
A 3-1 victory for the Scouts. You mentioned Licking County. We will be there on Thursday. We play at Licking County Thursday, at Licking County Friday, and Licking County right now is 3-6. The Scouts moved to 4-6. And that's going to be another tough matchup in Licking County. Both those teams going to be about even, as the Scouts are going to have a chance to move ahead in the standings once again with a couple of wins on Thursday and Friday. 2-1 the final in the first game, 3-1 the final score here in the second game. Any last thoughts, my friend Andrew Alix?
Can't wait to go to bed.
All righty. Caleb Bly's final line, 4 innings pitched, 1 hit allowed, no runs, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. Michael Pineda O'Donnell's final line, 3 innings pitched, 1 run. It was earned, 3 strikeouts, 3 walks. But the key there is only 1 run allowed and a 3-1 victory for the Scouts. Thank you for tuning in on this long.
Yeah, shout out to anyone who was with us this entire time, right? The people that didn't turn off the broadcast.
Yes.
I mean, you've been hanging out with us tonight. Like, no kidding.
A 3-1 victory for the Scouts. They sweep the Ironmen here on Tuesday in Lorain. The Scouts moved to 4-6. The Ironmen dropped to 3-8, and we will be back in action on Thursday in Licking County. For Andrew Alix, I'm Gabe Genovesi. Everybody have a blessed Wednesday, and we'll talk to you on Thursday.